come to order, folks. It's Town Hall tonight.
An hour of smiles in Town Hall tonight, folks. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. It's Town Hall tonight. Sir, once again, the old town hall hangs out its SRO sign. The janitor conceals his exit sign. There's a man heckling in the audience here. I can't see who that is. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the cotton gin brought on the industrial era.
Oh, vice versa.
The Boston Tea Party brought on the revolution.
And the tea bag.
B Pictures brought on bank night.
And bingo.
And what have I brought on?
What, Harry?
Fred Allen in person.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was some introduction, Harry. You were certainly down to your usual standard tonight, I must say. You brought me on like a crisis. Oh, well, boys will be boys. And with this dynamic rebuttal, I turn to the latest news of the week. The Town Hall News sees nothing, shows what might have happened if anything had happened. New York City, those fanfares are dying. Must be spring. Have you put sulfur and molasses in your cornets, Mr. Van Steven? Try it again. Thank you. That was more muscular, didn't you think, Harry? I did, too. New York City, that is something Toscanini would have nodded at had he passed by at that moment. New York City, New York. Prominent life insurance company announces record rise in divorce cases in this country. Insurance company's conclusions are based on a study of the divorce trend in New England, where, since 1934, divorce figures have reached unprecedented heights. Town Hall News starts special survey to determine some of the causes of this undue marital discord. The first case in our musty files tonight is number 79. Your name, sir?
Welkin T. Stumble.
Welkin T. What's so funny about Welkin T. Stumble?
Ask me why the T. Go on, ask me why.
All right. Why the T in your name?
Coffee keeps me awake.
Very good, and I'm no judge. But, tell me, what caused your divorce?
Alienation of confections.
Alienation of confections?
Yeah. My wife fell for a good humor man. Confection. Oh. Get it?
Yes, to be quite frank about it, I do get it. And that's that. Why did your wife...
I don't know. I was trying to keep her happy laughing, with my wife's cracking and stuff. Right after the wedding, I says, honey, I'm going to tell you a joke today.
And the first day?
First day I told her a Jim Dandy.
I heard it on the Penna show.
I wish I could remember it. Then the second day I told her a Lollapalooza.
And the third day?
Yeah, third day I come home. She's sitting on the front steps with this good humor guy.
Was she embarrassed?
Yeah. No, she says, take a walk, Bub. From now on, I'm getting good humor.
Well, did you have a comeback?
Sure. I says, he's doing me a flavor. Oh. Why ain't you laughing?
I laugh internally. It takes several days to get to my mouth. You won't know it till days to come. But you and your wife both laughed at that last
laugh.
Laugh.
We split.
And I feel the infinitive coming out in me, and we are about to split, Mr. Welkin T. Stumble.
Yeah, that was good, too.
I'm on my own. Now, our next divorce case is number 42, that oft-married society queen. Your name, please, madam.
Mrs. Gaffney, Philpott, Fitzmaurice, Cliveden, Prentice, the third.
Well, is that dash part of your...
Yes, my third husband's name always escapes me.
Oh, you leave a dash there in his memory. Well, it leaves sort of a vent in your full name, doesn't it?
Yes, I must have him looked up. He was a little man, fond of croquet.
Oh, well, no matter.
Yes, that's what I said at the time. No matter.
No matter. You have been divorced more than once, Mrs. Gaffney, etc.?
Yes. Grounds are my hobby, really.
Oh, most unusual hobby, I must say. And what would you say is the most common cause of divorce, Mrs. Gaffney, etc.?
In my case, it has been financial cruelty.
Financial cruelty.
Every time.
Embolism of the pocketbook.
Exactly.
Yes, I get
My first husband insisted on a used car.
Yeah.
I demanded a Duesenberg.
Mm-hmm.
My second husband insisted on Coney Island. I demanded Newport. Killed tightwads.
Yeah. Well, I see all of your husbands apparently misrepresented their assets.
Exactly. When I looked them up in Bradstreet, they were done.
When was your last divorce?
Only yesterday.
Oh, so recent? Financial cruelty again?
No, this time it was insufficient closet space.
Insufficient closet. Well, how could that be?
I was entertaining when my husband popped in.
And insufficient...
Yes, there were 4 gigolos and 3 closets.
Oh. What a pity you didn't make horseradish. Condolences. And thank you, Mrs. Gaffney Philpott Fitzmaurice Cliveden Prentice III. Those are all in, aren't they, Mr. Prentice III? Thank you. Our next divorce case is number 13. Your name, little man?
Barnaby Dobbs.
And, what was the cause of the rift in your marital oboe, Barnaby?
Well, I succumbed to temptation.
Your wife caught you philandering?
No. I ain't no playboy. I was henpecked for 20 years.
Oh, your wife wore the pants?
Not only the pants, the suspenders and me elks, too. Yeah, for 20 years she talked my ear off. Yeah. Last time I opened my mouth in front of my wife, it was to say, I do.
And you succumbed to...
I couldn't get a word in edgeways. It was, well, was you, Barnaby? You're a dime shot. You pay envelope, Barnaby. I seen you look at that blonde, Barnaby. Don't say that, Barnaby. I couldn't stand it no more.
But when did you succumb to temptation?
Oh, yesterday. She's got me in the kitchen. Blah, 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 Barnaby. She's nagging.
You're taking it on the lobe as usual.
Yeah.
But when did you succumb?
Well, see, there's a rolling pin on the table.
Yes.
And the back door was open just wide enough for a getaway.
Yes.
And something said, Barnaby, take a chance.
And that's when you succumbed to temptation.
Yeah, that's when I did the whole thing.
Well, thank you. Might just as well have left it undone, Mr. Barnaby Dobbs. Regardless of what statistics show, Town Hall News feels that most divorces can be blamed today on hasty marriages. To prove that many couples are hardly acquainted before they're married, and the trivial causes result in divorces, the Town Hall News shows romance, marriage, and divorce in this age of speed. The scene, outside a nightclub. A bored debutante and her boyfriend leave. He speaks.
Home, darling.
No, dear.
Where?
Anywhere.
Happy?
No.
Bored?
Yes.
Married?
Love it.
That's it?
His proposal accepted, the bored couple speed to an upstate justice of the peace. In the justice's humble, tiny parlor, the ceremony is rushed through. The justice says,
Do you?
I do.
Do you?
Me too.
You're done. $2.
Here.
Thank you.
Darling.
Happy?
Divinely.
Cigarettes?
Love it.
Here.
Oh,
What?
mammals.
You smoke.
Luckiest.
Divorce?
Imperative.
Judge?
Divorce.
Yes.
Undo.
Yes.
Undo.
Yes.
Undone. $2.
New York City, New York. Revised manual on speech improvement is put into use in the New York schools. The manual is intended to improve the quality of young New Yorker speech and to eliminate careless pronunciation and foreign accents peculiar to Manhattan's oral English. Town Hall News quizzes freelance phonetics teacher, Professor Tilton Ferb, for further information. Now, what speech idiosyncrasies are most common here in New York City, Professor Ferb?
Well, probably the substitution of toil for toil.
And hand for hand.
Oh, I see. And in your work as phonetics instructor, have you managed to wean your pupils away from these verbal, shall I say, vulgarisms?
Oh, yes, indeed.
You have.
One of my pupils, when he first came to me, insisted on saying that he worked in an oil refinery in New Jersey.
Oh, he worked in an oil refinery.
Yes, in New Jersey.
But you drilled him and drilled him until these oral inaccuracies were entirely eliminated.
Exactly.
Oh, how good.
Today, as the result of many months of arduous study and patient work, he no longer says he works in an oil refinery in New Jersey.
What does he say now?
He says he's got a new job, making foil studs for dress shirts from oyster shell.
Good work and thanks, Professor Fudd. Accustomed as I am, as I may be, to speaking into a microphone, ladies and gentlemen, I can never quite become used to this.
Mr. Allen, I'm Fred. I'm Ted. Hello, hello. We thought we'd say hello. We just stopped in to pass the time and say hello.
Now look, well, what would you boys charge to go put up the L and tear it down again?
But wait, Mr. Allen. We write songs. Songs are different. Yeah, when other guys write a song about spring, they tell about the birds, the bees, and love, right? Right, but not us. We got a real spring song. No fancy schmancy. Stark realism is our case.
All right. Give with the spring song, if you will.
The truth about spring. Spring, it never pleases when it's softly blowing breezes. Bring those great big sneezes. Shoot.
See, have I got a line in there? Yes, you're right, boys. I dozed off during the song. I'm sorry, boys. It just caught me. I dozed off in the middle of it. Well, you're certainly right, boys. Spring certainly does bring the sneezes. Hey, Harry?
Yes, Fred, and those sneezes should never be ignored.
But now, after the pause that refreshes, we return you pell-mell to the old town hall. On Friday...
Hello, Mr. Allen.
Portland, of all people. I heard that you were doing an Eastern Honey Child on the first show for Bob Hope. Well, what's in the wind besides the night plane to California, Portland?
Well, I just came over to tell you I'm in business.
Really?
Yes, I answered one of those ads. Make big money, no experience necessary. Right box 10, Kansas City, Kansas.
Mrs. Leafy Harris made $78 the first half hour. I've seen those ads. Well, that's... What are you laughing at?
Pretty funny.
The ad lib of the month, Well, that's fine. I'm happy to hear you're in business. And how is business?
Well, I haven't made any money yet, but I will if you'll buy one.
Buy one what?
Well, I'm selling loose-leaf maps of Europe.
Oh, I get it. With the loose leaf.
Yes, you can keep your map up to date.
Well, that's quite an idea, isn't it? The way things are going over there, the Tower of Pisa is beginning to look straight by comparison.
The world is certainly mixed up all right.
Yes, well, all I know is a lot of generals who thought they'd go down in history are forgotten today. And Venus de Milo is still remembered. Now, the moral is you last longer without arms.
Is that an epigram?
Oh, I won't know for 100 years yet. I'm just going to sit back and wait. The flag got caught in my throat there in that last sentence. Say, where's Harry?
Harry?
Yes?
I'm calling Harry,
Yeah.
Peter.
What am I answering for?
Well, maybe you're not yourself tonight. I hope.
Oh, go nibble your cuticle, Allen.
Go, what sort of talk? That digit cannibalism? What kind of talk is that?
Shall I call Harry again, Mr.
Yes,
Allen?
Get me Harry. I want to throw him at Van Steeden.
You're too cheap to throw a party that big.
Portland.
Harry?
Yes, Porty?
Mr. Allen wants you.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Oh, we just had a battle of wits, Harry.
Well, how did you come out, Pete?
It was a photo finish.
Yes, I won by a nose, and I'm holding it.
Well, what is it you want, Fred? I've got some things to do.
Well, it's about that Maxwell Stroud, Harry. Did you hear his program Sunday night?
Yes.
I heard him, too. Maxwell said you were so cheap, you did something with sardines.
Did what?
Oh, that, yes.
Yeah. You hear it?
Yeah, I heard it. Stroud said that when you bought a can of sardines, Fred, you ate the sardines, used the tin for a cigarette case and had the key made into a button hook.
He forgot to say he used the oil in your car.
I'm cheap, eh? Now, look, I got this straight from a waiter in Lindy's. When Stroud, alias Benny, orders a herring in Lindy's, he eats the fish, has the little head mounted for his den, takes the spine with him to use as a pipe cleaner, and the herring's fins he takes home to make into mandolin picks. Now, Lindy hasn't figured out yet what he does with the plate.
Well, he does say, though, that he has proof that he's not Maxwell Stroud.
Oh, he
And
says...
he says he wasn't born in the Mall Flanders Hospital
I
either.
treat it lightly.
He's got proof that he's Benny and he was born in a taxi.
Born in a taxi. If he was, he got out and walked the rest of the way to the hospital. Any man who'll butter a canary's beak to save on birdseed is a born deceiver.
Maxwell still insists he's Jack, Mr. Allen.
Let him keep insisting. I'll keep proving who he is. We had the real Jack Benny on this program only last Wednesday night. Now, if he didn't prove who he was last week, he'll prove who he is tonight.
Oh, yeah? Well, where is he?
He'll be here. Don't
Well,
worry.
here he is now.
Come in, Jackie, old boy.
Hello again. This is Jack Benny, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the real Jack Benny.
Well, thanks a lot, folks. And, gee, this is really too much,
Oh,
Fred.
it's all right, Jack. We are going to show that carpetbagger up.
Yes, I know, Fred. You know, and I'm ready for him tonight.
Good.
You know, I spent all last week in Waukegan.
In Waukegan, huh? Good.
Getting proof, Jack.
And what proof, Portland? Here, take a look at these papers, will you, Fred?
Oh, boy, the birth records from the Mall Flanders Hospital. Born February 14th, 1898. That's A.D., isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell by looking at him, you see. It could be B.C. with him. But, born February 14th, 1898, Maxwell Stroud and Jack Benny. Both babies tattooed.
Tattooed?
Yes,
See,
tattooed.
that's right, yes. Mary said Stroud had M.S. tattooed on his wishbone.
Yeah, now, wait till I open my shirt, folks. There. Now, what are those letters on my chest?
J.B.
And I'm not John Barrymore, have I?
You can't be at this salary. Now, these birth records here say Stroud is bald-headed. He's still bald today. Green eyes. Jack Benny, luxuriant hair, eyes blue.
And take a look at my eyes, Fred.
Oh, they're lovely, Jack.
Yeah, I know that, Fred, but what color are they?
Navy blue.
Heredity will out, ladies and gentlemen. These hospital records are definite proof.
Yes, but this party says he was born in a taxi cab.
Maxwell.
That's a darn lie, and I can prove it. Now, here's old Dad Talcott.
Oh, the old boy here?
Yeah, he drives a handsome cab at the Waukegan Depot.
Yes, howdy, Ellen.
Well, howdy, Dad. You're still glad to see you come down with Jack from Waukegan.
Thank you.
You're still driving your hansom around town now?
Yep, I've been Waukegan's transportation baron for 60 years.
Now, were there any taxicabs in Waukegan in 1898, Dad?
No.
weren't.
If you was going any place, you either drove in my hansom cab or you legged it.
Yeah, you see, Dad had the only cab in Waukegan, Fred.
Fine. Now, do you remember the night of February 14th, 1898, Dad?
February 14th, 1898. Yep, that was Valentine's Day.
Was a baby born in your hansom that night?
It couldn't have been.
Are you positive, Dad?
Well, I sure am. I wasn't driving my cab that night.
And tell Fred why you were, Dad.
Well, sir, a couple of traveling salesmen were wanting to play roulette.
Yeah?
They couldn't find the wheel in Waukegan, and I rented them the off wheel on my hansom. I put up my cab for the night.
Didn't you work that evening?
Yep. I was piggybacking people around town for 50 cents a heist.
And no baby was born on your back that night?
No, sirree. I wouldn't haul no kid after curfew.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Dad.
Yes, okay, be, but okay. Say, which way is Minsky's?
Go out, Dad. Straight out. Turn left.
Yep.
And follow anybody wearing spats.
Well, that spikes one lie, Fred.
You bet, Jackie. Stroud wasn't born in a cab as he claims. That we've proved, and that is the fib of the month. Now, who's this other witness, this other elderly gentleman here?
I'm Sam Lyons.
Oh, Sam Lyons? Are you from Waukegan, too?
Yep, but I don't know nothing about the case. I just come for the ride.
You see, Sam is a notary public back in Waukegan, Fred.
Yep, my seal's wearing out. I'm in town seal shopping.
Well, say, that gives me an idea. If this Jack Benny is the real Jack Benny, we can settle this whole thing once and for all.
Yeah, how do you mean?
Well, you're a notary, Sam Lyons. Jack can give his testimony. You can make it legal, can't you?
Got 48 states and Alaska to say I can.
Fine. Now, is that all right with you, Jackie?
Why, it sure is, Fred. You know, I hate to cause trouble, but after all, I am Jack Benny, huh?
All right, son, repeat after me. Know you by these presents.
Know you by these presents.
That before notary Sam Lyons of Waukegan.
That before notary Sam Lyons of Waukegan.
I do depose that the son of Dombey Stroud, the antique wormer, is an imposter.
He is an imposter.
And that I, the son of Luther Benny, am the real Jack Benny.
And that I, the son of Luther Benny, am the real Jack Benny.
Sic semper non campus qui mari pens.
What's that?
It's $2 in Latin.
Here you are, Sam.
In lieu of same, I witness you to be the real Jack Benny.
The die is cast, Maxwell Stroud. Let Carmichael know the company he's keeping. Hear ye, folks. Tonight, having legally proved that Maxwell Stroud is Maxwell Stroud, we rest our case. All hail, then, the real Jack Benny.
Jello again. This is Jack Benny, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, we approach by easy stages that strange anomaly, the clock. Always going, never getting any play. Nothing to be ashamed of, yet always has its hands to its face. A melancholy mechanism, the clock. Now listen, Mr. Van Steeden, what is the idea of that tinny serenade?
That's no serenade. It's a hint. If you'd stop talking about clocks and look at one, you'd know that it's long past time.
Splodgin, so it is. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I turn you over to the man at my elbow, a man with a very timely suggestion, Harry Von Zell. If you please, Harry.
Thank you, Fred.
And now the mighty Allen Art players dramatize an incident found jotted on the tattered cuff of an old Chinese detective. It's called Murder at Addison Square Garden, or One Long Pan disguised as a finger finally got into the ring. Overture, Peter.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we switch you now to Addison Square Garden for the K.O. Mulligan Glass Chin McCoy Championship Boxing Contest. The next voice you hear will be that of Clam McSmarty. Take it away, Clam.
This is Clam McSmarty, folks. Here at the ringside to bring you a blow-by-blow description of the mayhem between K.O. Mulligan and Glass Chin McCoy. The boys are fighting for the middleweight championship of the world. And the fighters are entering the ring. While the boys are lacing on their gloves, Sam Tripe's got a word for you. Take it, Sam.
Thanks, Clam. Fight fans, this contest is being brought to you by the makers of El Stencho, the famous 3-for-a-nickel cigar. Light up an El Stencho, men. Puff out its rich smoke and watch everyone in the room turn green with envy. I'm smoking an El Stencho right now. Phew, take it away.
Thanks, Sam. The referee's finished talking, folks. The fighters are back in their corners, and there's the bell. The boys come out fighting. Glass Chin just shot out left jab. KO counters with the right cross. Boy, what a match.
And speaking of matches, folks, touch a match to the end of an El Stencho cigar.
Crying out loud.
Okay. Take it, Clam.
The boys are in there punching. Wow, Glass Chin just opened KO's eye. It's an old scar.
And some scar, folks, but the scar millions enjoy is the El Stencho.
Scram, Sam.
A lamb flag.
Wow, I didn't see what happened, folks, but Glass Chin's down. The referee is counting. 8, 9, 10, and the fight is over, folks. K.O. Mulligan, the underdog, wins by a KO in the first round. Stand by, folks. I'll try to get the winner over to say a few words. K.O., hey, K.O., how about a few words to the radio audience?
Okay, Clam.
And here he is, folks, the winner and new middleweight champion, K.O. Mulligan.
It was a great fight, folks. Hello, Ma. I'll be right home. Make cutlets. Oh! Never mind the cutlets, Ma. Oh.
Good heavens. While K.O. was speaking, a shot rang out. How is he, Sam?
K.O.'s dead, Clam.
Flash, it's murder, folks. The officials are putting on an emergency bout to quiet the crowd. No one can leave the garden. They're calling the police.
Calling all bars. Calling all bars. Calling Detective One Long Pan. Prize fighter murdered in Addison Square Garden. Report at once.
And stop on the way for an El Stencho cigar, no
Get away from the police mic with that commercial, will you? Report to K.O. Mulligan's dressing room. Long Pan, report to K.O. Mulligan's dressing room.
Come in.
Greeting, and bonsoir, Hotaloy. Detective Wonderlong Pan on job. Mistress off no time. No time and double time for overtime. Creepers, jeepers, just escaped from keepers.
Hey, what is this?
Get out of this dressing room, you Oriental scum.
Not Oriental, ornamental bomb, missy. I am Detective Wonderlong Pan, China Lone Ranger, here to solve mystery. What is mystery?
K.O. Mulligan, the prize fighter's been murdered.
Who are you, stool pigeon?
I am Honest John Gunch.
Mr. Gunch is K.O. Mulligan's manager.
Very good, hussy-tussy. And who are you, Mrs. Sharples?
I'm K.O.'s mother-in-law, Mrs. Hennessy.
And who are you? You won't talk. Who are you?
That's the body, stupid.
Oh. Very good. Long pan, fine body, important clue. And who are you, Missy?
I told you I'm K.O.'s mother-in-law.
Oh, I catch you second time for California. You catch 'em fight tonight?
Why, sure. She was sitting in the front row like always with K.O.'s wife.
Long pan close in. What happened?
Well, when the shot rang out, my daughter ran home for the insurance policy. I'm staying with the body till the claim agent gets here.
Smart move, very smart move. Who are you, Mr. Busybody?
I am the Shadow. I know who killed K.O. Mulligan.
Who?
The party who fired the gun.
Shadow. Showy Billy, make hokey-pokey jokes. Small
we
time.
We ain't getting no place, Stumblebum.
Stumblebum. Very funny, little man. Long pan go place pronto. Well, you, Mr. Crooked John Mud.
He's Honest John.
Yes, and my last name's Gunch.
Minor detail, except the christening. Now, what happened, Mr. Bynes?
Well, it was this way. Boom.
Boom.
The fight starts.
Boom.
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 K.O. knocks out Glass Chin. Boom.
Boom.
K.O. goes over to talk on the radio. Boom.
Boom.
He's shot.
Boom, tilly, boom, boom. Who fired shot?
I don't know.
You, Missy?
Why should I kill my own son-in-law?
You fire shot, Mr. Punch. You
K.O. was made bread and butter. I'm nuts, maybe.
To you, Mr. Shadow.
I know who killed K.O. Mulligan.
Who?
But it's not the party I thought it was before.
Shadow go too far. Shadow butt in once more. Long pan box shadow ears. Long pan shadow box. Long pan China mad lesson. Shall I tell him?
Well, of all the dopey things...
Maybe shadow back. Long pan give a hot halo. Boo, Mr. Shadow, boo.
Hey, you're nuts.
Boo. Oh, not Shadow. I am Detective Wonderlong Pan. Who are you, Mr. Buttinsky?
I'm Square Shooter Gaffney, Last Jim McCoy's manager. I'm here to squeal.
You bet you're here to square. You?
If you want the killer, there he is.
Who?
Honest John Gunch.
You're lying, Square Shooter.
Hey, you had it fixed for KO, your own fighter to lay down. You was betting against him. I had it fixed for KO to double-cross you and win. That's why you shot him.
I was after your double-cross. I fixed Glass Chin to double-cross your double-cross.
You're telling me. I had the syndicate fix KO to double-cross your double-cross and my original double-cross.
Mistress, so many double-cross, fight come out on level.
If somebody doesn't solve this murder, I'm going to send for Mr. Keene.
Long pan take 13 weeks. 13 weeks, Mr. Keene solve anything. Long pan solve mystery in an hour. Only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Long pan Leonard climb. Foxy, long pan, fair foxy. Crowd is still and see it?
Yeah, the whole audience is locked in, okay?
Yeah, but who'll fight Glass Chin this time?
Batwing, one along pan. Yellow bomber. Let's go.
Okay. The ring is out this way.
You see, long pan get big reception.
That's the other fighters leaving the ring, stupid. Quiet. The referee is making an announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a sensational announcement. The track down K.O. Mulligan's murder, the McCoy-Mulligan fight is going to be reenacted. In this corner, Glass Chin McCoy, who is cooperating by getting knocked out again. White, 225
Get out of town before it's too late, Long Pan. Get out of town before... It's on.
And in this corner, replacing the light, Mulligan, is the Pekin pulverizer. 1 long pan, white, 94 pounds.
Hi-ho, Kitty. Hi-ho. Fight begin, you see. You ready, Mr. Grashchin?
Yeah, put up your dukes, Flat-Eyes.
Hold on. Low. Time out. Long pants, low pigtail over shoulder. Good luck.
Come on, fight, bum. How's this?
Oh, you naughty boy. Oh, you bad boy. You play love. Oh, you nasty man.
Oh, yeah? Here's an uppercut.
Oh, you have care. Long pan, lose temper.
Take this.
Oh, you bad boy. You go too far. Now you take this.
The winner! 1 long pan!
You bet. Better late than never. Winner, 1 long pan. And how?
Nice going, Long Pan. Have you spotted the murderer?
Not finished reenacting, Mr. Munn.
Yeah?
You bring Long Pan radio.
Okay, here's the mic.
Exactly. Long Pan reenacts fight a speech. You watch wheel ringside.
Okay, here's the mic.
Hello, Ma. Long Pan be at home. May take Fu Young. Oh, Long Pan duck. But just in time.
Yeah, but who fired that shot, Long Pan?
Lady Fresh Low. Lap smoking, you see. You grab her,
Okay, I got it.
Wait a minute. You take your hands off me. I didn't do
What,
anything.
Mrs. Hennessy?
But I didn't do anything, Mr. Gunch.
You keep skirt on, lady. Smoke still coming out the pocketbook.
Here, Long Pan, give me my purse.
Long Pan open purse. And the mistress saw.
A revolver.
Exactly. Revolver. And 2 bullets missing. You come clean. Oh, Mrs. Hennessy.
All right, Long Pan. I killed him. I'd kill him again. I'm glad I killed him.
Hey, what's the big idea, Mrs. Hennessy?
I'm president of the new Mothers-in-Law Association.
So why you kill son-in-law?
K.O. was a fighter. What do all fighters say after their fight? Hello, Ma. Hello, Ma. Hello, Ma. Never hello, mother-in-law. I'd kill them all. Mothers-in-law unite.
Quiet,
Down
quiet,
with fighters.
quiet.
Down with them all.
Here, you
down
stop,
with...
Quiet. Long Pan arrest you for murder and inside stuff, Mr. Hennessy.
Down with hello.
Quiet, you pipe down. Pipe
I
down.
won't pipe down. I don't care if I go to the chair.
You bet the chair. Aesop say, mother-in-law in home get raspberry. Long Pan say, mother-in-law electric chair get current. Long Pan no chicken, but leg regardless. Ladies and gentlemen, before we present our dwarfed version of next week's gigantic attractions, I'd just like to hope you've all enjoyed yourselves this evening and that you'll keep coming back to your radios again and again. And if you happen to think of it, ladies and gentlemen, next Wednesday evening, Town Hall Tonight brings you English lessons.
Here is how you can improve your grammar.
Send the old girl to school.
Your song of the week.
The sun shines bright on my new Kentucky home. That is a summer.
Bruno, that's old Kentucky home, isn't it?
I just had the joint done over.
Oh, well, I would... People you didn't expect to meet.
A boy who raises bees, but you won't get stung if you tune in next Wednesday. He's a honey.
And music. Thank you.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Now let's come to order, folks. It's Town Hall Tonight.
An hour of smiles in Town Hall Tonight, folks. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. It's Town Hall Tonight. Well, sir, another hour of entertainment is starting down the assembly line at the Old Town Hall. And now, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure, it is with keen delight, yes, it is with ill-concealed happiness, or I might say basking in an aura of joy, that I bring you for the last time this season, Fred...
Oh, say, Harry, what is this? What is this, the last time? This isn't my last program.
Are you here again next week, Fred?
Yes. Next Wednesday's my last week.
Oh, shucks.
And that is putting it mildly, Harry.
Well, Fred, my whole whole opening is about this being your last program.
Well, if you think I'm going to finish tonight just to save you the trouble of changing a few lines,
No,
Harry.
it's all right.
Well,
I'll make up something.
okay.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the next to the last time, I give you that next to the last comedian who is on his next to the last legs, Red Allen in person.
Thank you, and good evening. It's a wonder Mr. Rockefeller wouldn't get these things fixed. Radio City coming apart. He'd lean on anything in advance. Thank you, and for the next to the last time, thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And now for our next to the last turn, to the next to the last news of the week. Could we have a next to the last fanfare, Peter? Say, that sounded like the last one, Harry. They couldn't squeeze one out after that, could you? The Town Hall News sees nothing, shows nothing. Say, that's better than something. New York City, New York. As the final curtain drops on the Broadway Theater this month, many actors turn their attention to the Summer Playhouse. Little theater groups spring up in barns and haylofts around the country, affording a haven for actors, producers, and directors when activity in the Broadway show shops all but disappears. To get the confused outlook on rural theater this summer, Town Hall News interviews a motley group of untalented nobodies, identified with obscure bucolic enterprises last season. First, an actor who had a most unusual summer in 1938, Mr. Roulard Cuckle. Mr. Cuckle, you are a meadow mummer, are you?
Yeah, I do character acting mostly.
Really?
Yeah, my specialty is surly butlers and diffident roues.
Diffident roues, huh?
Yeah, in the third act, I always know the millionaire's wife loves me, but I'm diffident.
Oh, I declare a diffident. Now, how I just threw that in, if you don't like it. Well, how did you get into the summer theater last season?
Well, things was tough around Broadway.
You weren't eating regularly?
My stomach must have thought me mouth was closed for repairs.
You and vitamins had nothing in common.
Let me tell it, will you, Bud?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Cuckle. Continue.
Well, one day I'm standing outside the automat, and I see a guy winking at me out of a trailer.
Panhandling gasoline?
Yeah, he's casting a show. The trailer is a summer theater.
No kidding.
Yeah, the guy's trying to get a mob of thin actors so they'll fit in the trailer.
Well, what was the company called?
The Trailer Troubadours. We opened with The American Way.
The American Way in a trailer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the show was going on all the time.
Did the critics like it?
Oh, yeah. Brooks Atkinson covered the show on roller skates. We must have been doing 60.
Well, what was Mr. Atkinson's review?
He says, a fast-moving attraction.
Fine. Well, how was business with the Trailer Troubadours?
Brutal. Toward the end, we was driving ahead of cars with the trailer's back door open. If the car behind liked the first act, we'd crowd him over to the side of the road and give the rest of the show.
Well, where did you finally close your season?
In the finance company's office.
Really?
Yeah, they caught up with us during intermission.
What was the cast upset?
Yeah, it was the first time the trailer was ever held over.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Roulard Cuckle.
That's all right.
That's a matter of opinion. A society leader who is taking a summer flyer this year, Mrs. Ainsley Thorpe-Felice Tweedle III. How did you happen to found a summer theater, Mrs. Tweedle?
I don't know, really. Someone at Toulouse cocktail party said, why don't we? The next thing I knew, there I was in a turtleneck sweater and puttees directing.
Well, what is your theater group called?
The Winnie the Pooh Players.
Winnie the Pooh?
Yes, we stress the Winnie.
Leaving the audience to carry on.
I beg your pardon.
Granted, I'm sure. Now tell me, has your group a definite objective?
Oh, yes, we're putting on Pinafore.
Right away?
Yes, I'm writing Gilbert and Sullivan as soon as I hear from them.
You should live so long.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you, Mrs. Ainsley Thorpe-Felice Tweedle III. A farmer who is through with the summer theater, Mr. Gumbo Drain.
Don't mention actors to me.
Well, what happened, Mr. Drain?
Well, sir, last summer the drought set in. Got so dry my ducks was treading dust.
Treading dust around. Your crops suffer from the heat?
My cucumbers got so hot they was giving off a dull green glow. They look like Mazda pickles on a neon vine.
Say, it must have been terrible.
Yes, it certainly was. I had to quit walking around the farm. Radishes was giving me the hot foot. Yes, sir. I seen the harvest was going to be a mess of clinkers.
So you harvested with a rake, did you? So you rented your barn?
Yes, sir, to the Tinker Bell Players.
What happened?
Well, the next day, my barn was full of ectors. Hens started disappearing from the coops. Eggs was missing from the nest. Ducks started going one by one.
Well, did you find
No, I was fuming, but biding my time. Tuesday, I catch an actor kneeling on the stage. His hand stuck out through a door. It's going up and down.
The door?
His hand.
Oh.
I says, hey, what you doing there? He says, I'm rehearsing. Rehearsing what? I says, shaking hands with a man off stage, he says.
He was kneeling down to shake hands?
Yeah, he says, in the play, the man you can't see is a midget.
Oh, I see.
Well, sir, I run around the back. I'd never see the midget.
Well, what did he look like?
I still ain't see the midget.
That actor?
He wasn't saying goodbye to nobody.
But you said his hand was going up and down.
He was milking my cow. To me.
A young New York... You forgot to thank me, Mr. Drain. Thank you, Mr. Drain. A young New York producer who uses the Summer Theater merely as a laboratory, Mr. Dawson Bells. Mr. Bells.
Thank you. To me, the theater is merely a test tube. In it, I brew all human emotion.
You are not interested in the audience, Mr. Bells?
The audience means nothing. The theater means nothing. The play means nothing.
Only you?
Yes. I mean something.
Is that the consensus?
I am the consensus. I proved that in my laboratory theater during the past season.
Well, I didn't have...
Did you see my play, Thread?
Thread?
Yes.
No,
200 sewing machines on the stage. Sewing. A silkworm enters. The machine age, he mutters. The silkworm holds in. The sewing machine stop. Curtain! Think it over.
Yes,
You saw my play Crash.
Oh, you had a crash?
Yes.
No,
Crash.
I didn't.
The curtain goes up. A bass drum is center stage. The drum is a symbol. On the drum is a symbol.
Yes?
The symbol is a symbol. The audience ponders. A termite smacks his lips. Curtain! You see the work I'm doing.
Yes. What is wrong with the theater, Mr. Bells?
The theater is afraid to experiment. Why should the actors always be on the stage and the audience in the seats?
Oh, you're changing all that this summer?
Definitely, at Long Crag, Connecticut.
Long Crag, Connecticut?
Yes. I'm doing an Ibsen play in a windmill.
The actors are inside a windmill?
Yes, remarkable idea, really. The audience rides around in baskets on the 4 giant paddles. As the paddles pass the bottom of the windmill, the audience looks in.
I see.
Snatches of the play are seen.
Well, how do the people know what the whole play is about?
The windmill stops. The 4 groups are introduced. They withdraw. Views are exchanged. And it dawns on them.
Yes, it should be a good lesson to them.
Next summer, I am presenting a season of Shakespeare in the lighthouse off the coast of Old Orchard, Maine.
But what about the audience?
The audience will be in Biddeford, 10 miles away.
Well, how will people know what's going on?
The orchestra seats will have telescopes.
Oh.
The balcony seats will have opera glasses.
And the folks in the gallery?
They can't see me.
And that goes for me, too, and thank you, Mr. Dawson Bell.
I seem to have wasted a lot of time.
Yes, that is the consensus. But despite you have wasted a life, only a fragment of your time has been wasted here, Mr. Bell. But despite many handicaps, the Summer Theater will flourish again this year, and many a Shakespearean actor will be pleasantly surprised at the instant service he receives when he reads these lines in a bar.
A horse, make kingdom for a horse.
A well-known psychologist psychologist recently stated, ladies and gentlemen, that the reason most men aren't more successful is because they don't recognize opportunity when it knocks at their doors. Now, tonight, we'd like to find out whether or not the professor hit the bullseye. So we question members of our studio audience. Now, this gentleman here, did you hear opportunity knocking at your door?
What door?
No, opportunity at the door, knocking.
Well, don't knock if you can't boost. That's what I always say.
No, look, opportunity is knocking at the door.
Well, let him in if you're a mind to. I don't live here.
Oh, skip it.
Yep, that's what I always say. Well, come on, Bill.
Where were we? Oh, yes, you, sir. Did you recognize opportunity when she knocked at your door?
Yes, I knew it was my big chance, but that didn't do any good. You see, I had an opportunity to interview a man who had a swell job for me.
And you muffed it?
I certainly did. I was feeling kind of dull and under the weather, and I must have looked it. I guess I didn't make much of an impression, so that was that.
Well, we all understand how you must feel. This year, ladies and gentlemen, some graduating classes have decided by vote a new question, to wit, what movie star would make an ideal companion on a desert island? Now, for the most part, however, these informal elections have concerned themselves with more pertinent issues, such as who is the best student or the finest athlete, and so forth. Now, tonight we follow through with the town hall elections, and we are very happy to report as follows. First, the one most likely to succeed.
I have to pay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Now that you have heard from the man of the hour on the half hour, we return you intact and in toto to the old town hall. Now on Thursday night...
May I come in, Mr. Allen?
Well, Portland, why, certainly. Hey, if Gracie can get on information, please, you certainly can get in here. Hey, what's the matter, Portland?
Oh, nothing.
Why, your forehead is as wrinkled as the knees on a pair of $2 corduroy pants. Are you worried?
Well, yes. I've been thinking about after next week.
You mean next week is our last program for the summer?
Yes. What am I going to do Wednesday night?
Say, you think you've got trouble? How would you like to be Waukegan?
Is Waukegan worried?
Worried? Why, the city hall has lost 80 pounds. Didn't you hear that Benny is going back to Waukegan?
Jack is?
Why, not only Benny is going back, he's taking his radio program with him and his new picture. If that isn't a trouble parlay, say that combination will set Waukegan back 20 years.
Well, I heard Jack's new picture, Man About Town, is swell.
Say, if Benny's picture gets 1 star in Waukegan, it'll be on the sheriff's vest.
Gosh, I bet Jack gets a big welcome.
Previewing a picture in his hometown. Who does Benny think he is, Union Pacific? You know, I hear he put Rochester in the picture so he could brag around Waukegan the picture's in Technicolor.
Oh, you're just jealous.
Well, I didn't go home to Boston when my picture opened, did I?
No.
I didn't go home after it opened either, did I?
No.
You know why?
Yes, I saw your picture.
All right. You were the one. I should have taken your name at the time. Well, this subject is soil. Let's change it.
All right.
What has Benny got that if I had, I certainly would get rid of right away?
I thought you were going to change the subject.
All right. Let's talk about vacations. Where are you going on your vacation?
Oh, Mama and I are going out to the World's Fair.
Oh, for the whole summer?
Yes. We're going to get in that line that's always waiting to see the General Motors exhibit.
That line is part of the fair now, you know. They're stuffing it and putting it away for the winter and bringing it back.
They say the General Motors show is wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
You get in moving chairs and ride in the dark past a lot of scenery.
Oh, you can do that in the Tunnel of Love at Coney Island.
Yes, but that isn't educational.
That is a matter of opinion.
Where are you going to spend your vacation?
Where Well, I might go up to Maine again if Rudy'll move over. I'm pretty tired. Now, I want to go someplace where nobody suspects I'm a comedian and nobody expects me to say anything funny.
Why don't you stay on the program, Alan?
Rift, welcome home to the Loot.
Hi, what do you hear from the father?
Ingersoll's writing your stuff, huh?
Did you get that quick comeback, Porty?
You said last week you weren't going to tell any more jokes, Peter.
Well, he's kept his word up to now, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah? If you want to hear a wow gag, Porty, get this. I'm in a room with a head of lettuce.
Oh, so there's one head in the room. Why?
Well, what's the answer, Peter?
Which one of us goes out first?
The lettuce can't walk. You go out.
No, the lettuce leaves.
Well, Listen, oh, this is the end of Van Steeden. We can't hold him now. We've got to put him on We the People. The man got applause with a gag like that. All right. Now, the lettuce leaves. If you'll join it, now you'll be able to say what he's got to get a coat to match the pants now, the way he's going.
Maybe you didn't tell that joke right, Peter.
Yeah, I must have let down. I'm pretty tired. I'll be glad when my vacation starts.
Listen, if we'd known it was going to get a laugh, we could have changed those lines. We had all that.
Oh, are you going away, Peter?
No, Alan's going away. That's vacation enough for me.
Well, I'm no insurance man, but the feeling is mutual. All of us with you, the swell.
I wonder where Harry's going. Harry!
Yes, Forty?
Have you made any vacation plans?
Well, no, Forty. I was going to the Thousand Islands, but I don't know.
Well, what's the matter with the Thousand Islands?
I don't like the dressing.
Am I on the right program? I was looking around for Penna there. Well, if you don't like the dressing, why don't you go to a burlesque show for the summer? Come in.
So this could be the place. Stop pushing.
Who's pushing? I'm here to see a prospect.
Prospect is a park in Brooklyn. Take the BMT.
Get your finger out of my eye. You're violating the Wagner Act.
Now, wait a minute. The Wagner Act can't be any worse than this act that's coming. If you fellas want a third for trouble, what goes on here?
I am here to arrange for your vacation, Bob.
What vacation?
If you want a vacation, Alan, I'm your man.
Take a minor drive, Bob. You're coming to the mountains.
What you need is some good salt air, Alan.
Now, look,
To me, you're looking like a man who's wanting the best. And the best is Pomeroy Pincus playground in the ponds.
Why, the woodpeckers eat the penthouse off his joint every summer.
The woodpeckers, he's saying. My place is Beaver Board.
Your board ain't fit for a beaver.
No, wait a minute. No.
If you want class, Alan, I'm running a seashore rendezvous. Seaweed Haven.
A rendezvous. It's a dive.
What do you mean a dive?
So help me from the bed to the floor. You can dive and not touch bottom.
I don't want to fall out of bed and bump my head on the Coast Guard, you know.
This could happen. By Seaweed Haven, the first 2 floors is reserved for the tide.
Now, don't tell me the beds are pontoons.
But leaking yet.
That is a lie, Pincus.
Look, one night only I'm stopping by the Seaweed Haven.
Well, what happened, Pinky?
In the morning I am waking. A shark is in bed with me.
What do you want in $1 room? A tuna?
By Pomeroy Pincus playground in the ponds. You are leading the life of Riley.
What's Riley doing at your joint?
Listen here. Riley is there incognito, using the name Rabinovich.
Now, look, I'm not roughing it this summer, boys. I'm looking for something high class.
High class, you say. By Pincus, you're not getting in without a simple case.
Well, who is your social director?
Social director? I Pomeroy
Pincus, a mine host and part-time buffoon. Guests is calling me an old Mickey Rooney.
Well, all right, now what about the rates,
Well,
fellas?
if you're sleeping hillbilly style, 8 guests together, that's $2 daily. With the sheets, of course, I'm charging extra.
Now, you don't think I'm sleeping in a room with 8 strangers?
The strangers, you say. Before you are getting into bed, each guest you are meeting personally by name.
Slumming, Alan.
That's slumming.
At Seaweed Haven, I'm renting a single room with combination pillow and water wings for 6 bits.
For a bang-up good time, boarder, coming to Pomeroy Pincus's playground in the pond.
For a salty siesta, come to the Seaweed Haven, chum.
Now, listen
look,
here.
Fellas, look, I can't make a snap decision.
Well, so calling in a third party.
Okay, here I am.
Not you, Chisla. Costanza.
Say, Portland, what do you think?
Peter!
That's what I think. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the Mighty Allen Art Players. Tonight they present a study of life along the Mississippi. It's called A Crisis Boards the Showboat, or Captain Andy couldn't land the boat, so he finally docked the actors. Overture, Peter.
Hi, Captain Andy.
How's the old showboat?
Howdy, folks. The old Captain Andy's docking his showboat, the Boll Weevil, here in Memphis again, to give you all your annual treat.
Playing Uncle Tom's Cabin again this year, Captain Andy?
Yep, ain't nothing changed. Only Simon Legree's got a new dirty laugh. Come aboard, folks, and get your ticket, neighbors. Soon as the gangplank's down. It's a great show, and it's starting in an hour.
Hey, how about a song, Captain Andy?
I'll sing for y'all in the concert right after the big show, neighbors. Lanny and me'll do a duet. Your old Captain Andy's going into his cabin now for a spell. See y'all at showtime.
Well, about time you got in here, Aunt Allen.
Why, Cindy Lou, my nagging wife. I thought you all was in the galley fixing victuals for my actors.
Ain't no victuals to fix. Ain't nothing in the galley but some eggshells.
Well, take 'em out and get 'em refilled.
Listen, I laid the table. I ain't laying eggs to go on it.
I've got to have victuals for my Uncle Tom actor, Cindy Lou. If things gets any worse, we're going to be eating bloodhound ragout.
What'd you think that stew last night was, veal?
Well, doggone.
And all gone if it's any news to y'all.
So that's what that wagon was in my stomach. I didn't know.
Why don't y'all get a job on land, Captain Andy?
I still got faith in my showboat, the Boll Weevil Cindy Lou. I still got faith in Uncle Tom's cabin. I'm carrying on.
Borrowing money in every
Hey,
town.
look here.
Never paying your actors.
I'm paying my actor's share tonight.
Paying them what? Compliments?
Uncle Tom's cabin is selling out share tonight in Memphis. Captain Andy Allen is meeting his obligations right after the show.
What show? Uncle Tom quit last night in Hattiesburg, didn't he?
And good riddance. Called himself an actor. Could only go 2 weeks without food.
How you all gonna play Uncle Tom's Cabin without Uncle Tom?
I wired to the north, to New York City, for a new leading man, Cindy Lou. A fresh Uncle Tom's a joining the showboat chair tonight. Maybe this is my new Uncle Tom now. I wired him to get you for showtime.
I'll see.
Captain Andy Allen?
From Monday through to Sunday, son.
That's all I want to know. Come in, Mac.
Right, Jack?
What is it you're selling?
We're selling talent, lady.
With Jack and Mac, those happy chappies, a knockout comedy act.
Now, I don't need
We've
no...
been waiting down here in Memphis for vaudeville to come back. Been here 10 years.
Yeah, we just heard about your show.
Well, what about my show?
Words around the levee, it's a blinzer.
Yeah.
Blinzer, sir?
A clam bake, a turkey. Put Jack and Mac in your show, brother, and you got a hit.
Right.
I ain't presenting no floating Fanchon and Marco unit. My showboat chair is playing Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Well, that opera's passé, brother.
Jack and Mac and pep it up, right, Jay?
Right, Mac. Now, first we need a new title.
I got it. Uncle Tom's a poppin'.
Great. We'll make it a musical. Great. Now, here's your opening. Uncle Tom and 2 other cotton pickers swim by the levee.
Bang. Then comes your theme song.
3 little pickers in the itty-bitty pool. Yeah. And then, melodrama. Take it, Mac.
Bang. Simon Legree comes on cracking his whip.
Yeah, Legree's snarling to himself.
Legree says, I'm vicious. I'm vicious. I'm vicious.
And bang, the theme song again. 3 little fishes in the itty-bitty pool.
Hold on, child. I ain't
standing
Quiet,
by.
carpetbagger. Take it, Jack.
I see a musical finale. Eliza's crossing the ice. The bloodhounds pursuing.
The ice is dry ice.
Yeah, it was dropped in the river by a good humor man.
Great. The three bloodhounds get 12 hot puts and jump in the river to put them out.
Zoe, a reprise. Three little bloodhounds in the itty-bitty poo. Congratulations, man.
You're a genius, Jack.
Well, Robert E. Lee.
What do you say, Cole?
Only this. Open that door yonder, Cindy Lou.
Hey, let go my collar.
Hey, let go me oaks, too.
There's going to be two little Yankees in the itty-bitty poo. I'm dumping you both all in the river.
Not over the rail. Oh!
And you too.
I got on a cheap suit. It'll shrink.
Ups a daisy.
Oh!
Now y'all can film and film, and I don't give a...
Andy!
I'm coming, Cindy. Doggone Yankees. Trying to Gilbert and Sullivan my Uncle Tom's cabin. Open the window, Cindy Lou. Let them suggestions blow out at you.
Okay, Andy.
Carry me back to
Laws the suit. The good old suit. Close that window, Cindy Lou.
Okay, Andy.
Happy-go-lucky plantation hands a giggling and a bending down, a picking cotton and a singing.
Why do they always start picking cotton when they're singing?
They pick the cotton to stuff in their ears so they can't hear the singing. Come in, Sheriff.
Cap Mandy?
You all my new Uncle Tom?
No, I'm the sheriff.
Sheriff?
Yes, ma'am. Cap Mandy, I got some mighty bad news for you.
It's that last loan you loaned, Andy. I knowed it.
Yeah, it is. The bank at Natchez is foreclosing on your showboat.
Well, I can pay my bills.
Hey, with what? The bank's been checking on your business along the river. I got the reports right here.
My business reports?
Got 'em right here. Listen here. Gopher Hole, Missouri. Even the tide went out in your show.
Well, I know, but...
Cornpone, Tennessee, played the two pickaninnies and a possum. Show broke up when Simon Legree jumped over the footlights, caught the possum, and ate it raw.
I know, excusing his manners, I know things has been bad. But the river's coming back, Sheriff.
I don't think it is, Cap Mandy. Your showboat's washed up. The bank's foreclosing. They're turning your showboat into a trailer for the Albany Night Boat.
My showboat just sold out tonight in Memphis, Sheriff. Now I'm expecting a New York actor here any minute. He'll save my show.
You gotta give Captain Andy one more chance, Sheriff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. All right. I'll be back just before curtain time. Now, good luck to you.
Lord, Andy, your New York actor better be getting here.
He'll be just, Cindy Lou.
Oh, look, Andy, out the window chair.
What, ain't another sheriff?
No, it's a fancy-looking dude coming up the gangplank.
Is he toting a straw suitcase and sporting a hungry look?
Yeah, and his pants is baggy, clear to the hips.
He's a New York actor, Cindy Lou. He's Uncle Tom. My showboat is saved. Come in, sir. Welcome to Captain Andy's showboat, Uncle Tom.
Thanking you kindly, comrade. Boris Podolnik is ready to perform. Which way is the stage?
Now, hold on, sir. There's some mistake, sir.
You are wiring to New York for Podolnik, no?
Yes.
Podolnik is here, no?
Yes.
This is a mistake, no?
Yes. My telegram said, rush an actor to my boat.
Russian actor, so that's Podolnik. I am the Russian actor.
Well, peel my yam. The telegraph company must have misspelled your wire, Andy.
Well, I'm powerful sorry, neighbor. You all can't play Uncle Tom.
Can't play, you saying? 20 years in the Moscow art. Podolnik is playing Uncle Tom's cabin. We are calling it Commissar Tomaszewski's Cabana.
Oh, it ain't no use, Andy. He can't never play Uncle Tom. Nobody'll understand it.
My back's to the pin rail, Cindy Lou.
On stage, everybody. 5 minutes till curtain time.
5 minutes. What am I gonna do?
Here is some stove polish. Podolnik will schwarzing up.
Oh, I tell you, Andy, he'll ruin Uncle Tom's cabin.
Well, Cap Mandy, what about your show?
Well, I guess I'm ready, Sheriff.
Hey, is this your New York actor?
Yeah.
To you, I am Boris Podolnik.
What?
I am taking off Uncle Tom.
Jumping jackpot's a foreigner.
What? A Keystone Copper is insulting the great Podolnik? Krasnaya Prezdice Grubianie, Ji Prazna Gospodi Pomoloy.
What's he saying?
It ain't high old silver.
Et ровно
Kieski Fyodorovich.
No.
You should be in spades.
No, that's done it, Captain. I'm foreclosing here.
Now, hold on, Chester.
You told me your showboat was sold out tonight, Captain Andy.
It is,
You
Sheriff.
told me this here New York actor would save the show.
He will, Sheriff. I'll pay back.
Pay with what? If this Lithuanian plays Uncle Tom with that dialect, you'll have to refund everybody's money. Now, I'm foreclosing right here now.
Now, wait, hold on, Sheriff. Let me take Podolnyik back in the galley, Sheriff. I'll teach him a southern dialect.
I am a quick study.
Well, I'm giving you 2 minutes, Captain Andy.
2 minutes in the galley, and I guarantee Podolnyik will come out with a southern drawl. Follow me, Podolnyik.
Podolnyik goes first. Podolnyik is the leading man.
Oh, I hope Captain comes through, Sheriff.
Well, if that Cossack don't come out with a southern dialect, I'm taking over your showboat lock, stock, and anchor.
I can only hope and pray, Sheriff.
I'm a fatalist and an agnostic. I can't join you.
How's the time, Sheriff?
Time's up. I'll get him out of there. Come on out of there, Podolnyik.
Hi-yo, I'm sure enough ready to play old Uncle Tom. Let's go.
Well, I'll be...
Why, Mr. Podolnyik, you all is talking folks.
I'm from Dixie, honey child. Captain Andy sure is a wonder worker. Meet your new Uncle Tom.
Well, I'll just...
And you ain't for closing, Sheriff.
No, I ain't. Come on out here, Captain Andy. How'd you ever do it?
So 10 years with the showboat is learning me one day. So much going on. Ladies and gentlemen, before we tell you about next week's show, may we sincerely hope you've enjoyed this one. Thank you for having us in your homes and for your friendliness to our famous product. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Wednesday evening, Town Hall Tonight brings you honest health advice.
How to get rid of the grit. Give it to a red cap.
Your song of the week.
California, here I come. Right back away, but
Nino, that's Here I Come, not Here I Come, isn't it?
I'm hitchhiking, bud.
People you didn't expect to meet.
Our sponsor. Will Fred tremble in his boots? Will everybody get fired? Tune in next Wednesday.
Who's there?
The Fred Allen Show. An hour of smiles with Fred Allen, folks. 3,600 seconds of fun and music. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. Flashes of humor with our guest star, Ned Sparks. Music with Peter Van Steeden, the Merry Macs, and Win Murray. And the time has come. It's the Fred Allen Show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we celebrate the opening of our new fall series by bringing you that lovable buffoon, that man-about clown. What is your name again, Bud?
Well, you know me. I was on the program last year. I'm a friend of Uncle Jim's. You see me around, haven't you?
No, I'm sorry, but I've been on that What's My Name program all summer, and I can't tell anyone's name these days unless I get a lot of clues or something.
What am I supposed to do? Wait around here until you take 3 guesses? Suppose you give up, then I'm a nobody.
Well, if I only had a clue or
all
something.
right. Now, look.
Yeah.
This first clue pays $10. If you have a chisel and some time to spare to get it away from me. I was born in 1897.
Yeah.
As a baby, I played with the rattle in my father's second-hand car.
Yes.
When I was 4 years old, my mother woke up one night and found me out in the backyard flying a kite. Now, what's my name?
Flying a kite?
Uh-huh.
Oh! Then
too late. Did you ever see 7 seconds go so quickly?
No.
Now, this second clue pays $9.
Yes.
When I was 16 years old, I made a date with the Floridora Sextet. I had 5 girls left over that evening. I founded the YWCA. When I was 18, an apple fell on my head, and I discovered gravity. Now, what's my name?
Oh, that's a cinch. Sir Isaac.
Oh, isn't that? Isn't that interesting? You were on the right track, too. Now, this third clue pays $8. And speaking of $8, Von Zell, I am the man who loaned you $80 last spring and never got it back. Now, what's my name?
Fred!
Yes, Fred, and you can pay me that dough right this very minute.
Well, here he is now, folks. Fred Allen in person.
Thank you. I was christened in half that time, Harry. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it sure feels strange to be starting back at the weekly chores, Harry.
Well, your vacation certainly did you a lot of good, Fred. What became of those 2 little bags you had under your eyes?
Oh, you missed them, huh?
Uh-huh.
They turned into one big bag down here by my stomach. You see?
Yeah, no wonder I didn't recognize you with that double chin you're wearing.
Oh, it goes way down to here. Yes, the cooking in that summer hotel this year went to my neck, I think. Most of it I couldn't get down any farther. If I get another chin, Harry, I'll have to stop wearing collars and get a snood for the front.
Well, snood or no snood, Fred, it's certainly snood to have you back.
Nice of you to say so, Harry. Now, how about getting started? Is everybody here?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm on deck.
Well, that takes care of the trivia, doesn't it? Now, what about the joke writers? Are the boys here, the 2 boys?
Oh, Mr. Allen, and are we hot, eh, Sam?
Hot ain't the white, Sam.
That's telling them, Sam.
And how, Sam?
Am I right, Sam?
Check back.
I'll never be the Sam after this. Wow, I'm in mid-season form already. Have you boys got plenty of new jokes for the program?
Have we? Take it away, Sam.
Okay. I just got a letter from a Davis hand.
What do you hear from the snob?
Get it?
Something tells me this is going to be a short season, boys.
He didn't get it.
Now, who else is here, Harry?
Well, Mrs. Trask is waiting, Fred.
Mrs. Trask?
Mrs. Trask, you know, the woman who starts the laughs in the studio audience.
Oh, yes. You are on the qui-vive, of course, Mrs. Trask.
Yes, sir, Mr. Allen. I'm fit as a hyena and ready for smirk.
Well, that's fine. No, not that. Not yet, Mrs. Trask. You know, you don't have to laugh. Look in your contract. You don't have to laugh until the program starts.
I know. I'm just warming up.
Well, fine. You get back in the incinerator, and we'll baste you on the half hour. Now, let me see. Is anyone missing? Are we all...
Hello, Mr. Allen.
Oh, Portland. I had forgotten all about you. Well, you certainly are the picture of health, Portland.
Yes, I'm trying to take off 10 pounds.
Oh, I'm in the same boat. You're the picture of health, but you're overdeveloped. You've overdeveloped yourself, as it were. Mrs. Trask. You bad girl. Not yet. You mustn't rush into those things.
I wasn't laughing at you.
Oh, you were improvising, were you?
No, I happened to think of the salary you're paying me.
Quiet. Now, where did you spend the summer, Portland?
Mama and I were at the World's Fair.
All summer, were you?
Yes. We've been in that line for the General Motors exhibit since June. We finally got in today.
You just made it, didn't you?
I'll say, the fair's closing this month.
I know. They say if the Perisphere was an aspirin, Grover would probably take it. Well, thanks for popping in, Portland.
I've written a speech to welcome you back to radio, Mr. Allen.
Well, it's very nice. I appreciate...
Huzzah with salutations, and welcome back today.
Not now, Portland.
Can't I speak my piece?
A little later. I've got to get the program started. Yes?
Mr. Allen?
Yes?
Are you starting back on the radio tonight?
Yes.
That's done it. Goodbye, all.
Still killing them, eh, Allen?
Oh, it's you, Van Steeden.
It isn't Glenn Miller.
You're telling me. The program can use Glenn Miller this year, if you want my opinion.
If you want my opinion, the program can use Bob Hope.
Now, look, you fugitive from an audition.
No, wait.
Well, he started it.
Well, Fred, I know, but this is the first program of the season. Let's all start off friends.
It's Sister Shane by me, as the saying goes.
As the saying went. That crack got so ripe it fell off the hit parade 6 months ago.
Well, overlook it, Fred. Come on, let's have harmony in the cast.
Well, it's more than we ever got from Van Stevens' welding outfit, I'll tell you.
All right, now come on, fellas. Shake hands.
Press the flesh, Alan.
Bragging, hey? Well, all right,
Oh, well, now that's more like it. Now you're friends.
Wait a minute. I've been robbed.
What do you mean, Rob? All I did is shake hands with you.
Come on, Alan. Where's my hangnail?
Well, accused of...
God, with salutations, and welcome back today.
No, not now, Portland.
But when do I welcome you?
Later in the program.
This is later, isn't it?
Well, it's later than it was, yes, but not late enough. Now, I've got to start the show now. Things are...
Oh.
Yes, you'll catch on when I get going. Are the mighty Allen Art players here?
To be or not to be?
And that's just one of the questions tonight, folks. We're all set. A fanfare, Van Steeden. See? Knocking already, and I haven't even started. Come in.
Yo, Mr. Allen.
Yes, if you're looking for the Woodlawn Cemetery...
No.
Oh, now, you're just kidding me. You've just given your pallbearers the slip, I can tell.
No, honest. I'm here on business.
What business? Who are you?
I am Caldwell Sprague, radio program creator. I'm here to start creating.
Well, who says I need a program created?
Your sponsor.
Oh, the sponsor.
Yeah, you've been doing the same program too long. Newsreels, people you didn't watch is the same actors.
Oh, and you are here
to create. I'm creating a whole new program. The West Van Steeden.
Right here, Mr. Sprague.
You're fired.
What?
Now we're getting someplace.
But, Mr. Sprague, my orchestra's perfect.
You and that poor man's Philharmonic. The public today wants swing.
But I've got a new swing band this year.
Well, okay.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go and...
Huzzahs with salutations.
What were you trying to do? Steal a question there and make $5 on the side? Not yet, Portland.
Later?
No, I don't know. Who knows?
Excuse me, Mr. Allen.
Yes, what is it now, Mr. Sprague?
Look, have you got the new girl singer for the program?
Yes, we have a new girl singer. We have Win Murray with us
Win
now.
Murray?
Yes.
Oh, boy. Have you got a guest star?
Yes, we have Mr. Ned Sparks.
Then you got a whole new show. What am I doing here?
That's what I'd like to know.
Well, I'm resigning. So long.
It's certainly about time we got rid of one vice president.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. This is the Vitalis program, featuring George Jessel with his famous Vitalis guest stars. All brought to you by Vitalis and the speedy 60-second workout that helps to keep your hair healthy.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Was something wrong?
Well, I'm afraid you're in the wrong studio, sir.
Well, this is Wednesday night, isn't it?
Yes.
It's 9:30, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, I'm the announcer. This is Vitalis time, isn't it?
Oh, no, not anymore. This is Fred Allen time.
What became of the Vitalis program?
Well, the Vitalis program is now on Friday nights at 9:30.
Oh. Well, why doesn't somebody tell me these things?
Say, Harry.
Yes, Fred.
Harry, if you see a cigar outside with Georgie Jessel dangling from the end of it, tell Georgie he's on Friday nights from now on,
Right,
will you?
Fred, I will.
Thanks.
Huzzahs with salutations.
No, not yet, Portland.
Later?
Yeah, any minute now. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to start our guest star policy, we have intercepted a star on his way to Hollywood. His face is as well known to you as the face on the barroom floor. He is a melancholy chap, a sulking pantaloon, who has probably made everyone in the world but himself laugh. Meet that tycoon of gloom, that past master of raucous invective, Mr. Ned Sparks.
Thank you, friends, and thank you, Rudy.
Wait. What's going on? Everybody's mixed up here tonight. I'm afraid you, too, are a little confused, Mr. Sparks.
This is the Rudy Valley program, isn't it?
No, I'm not,
You're talking through your nose, aren't you?
Yes, but I'm not Rudy. It just so happens I talk through my nose.
How do you whisper? Talk through one nostril?
No, I hold my nose.
With some of those jokes you've been telling El Fideldo, you should.
Now, look, Mr. Sparks, my nose is my business.
Your business is in the red, brother.
Now, wait a minute, Ned. Let's start this interview over.
Not me. I got on my nerves the first time.
Well, now we've got something in common.
One of us is slumming mentally, Rudy.
Not Rudy. But look, one thing at a time, Mr. Sparks. First, this is not the Rudy Valley program. Rudy went off the air last week.
Rudy's out of work, eh? Uh-huh. That explains it.
Explains what?
Rudy in the auto match yesterday. He was singing to himself.
Rudy singing what?
My time is my time.
Why, I didn't know you sang, Mr. Sparks.
What do you think of my voice? And keep it clean.
Your singing sounds like an axle calling its mate.
And that's putting it mildly. What became of our interview?
Oh, that's right. I was wondering why you were here. Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Sparks, I am always a little embarrassed in the presence of you Hollywood celebrities. I just don't know how to begin.
You're supposed to be the MC, aren't you?
Well, I've been called an MC, yes.
You've been called a lot of other things, too, haven't
you? Well, not up to now, no.
The night is young, brother. The night
is young. You know, it seems funny. You here at the microphone looking at me. I'm here looking at you. We're both looking at each other.
Yes, and I'm getting the worst of it.
To me, you look like a little boy who grew up in a bottle of alcohol.
To me, you look like a hot foot with skin on it.
You look like the oomph boy in an old lady's home.
Looking at you leaves a bad taste in my eyes.
Give up?
Unless somebody writes me some more answers, yes.
Well, I guess I should ask you a few polite questions now, but I really don't know where to start.
Why don't you ask me if I was born?
Oh, were you born?
No, I'm a self-made man. I double-crossed myself.
Now, let me see. What else could I possibly...
Why don't you ask me how I got on the stage?
A happy thought. How did you get on the stage, Mr. Sparks?
When I was a kid, my father took me to see Mitch Hepburn play Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Mitch Hepburn in the lead, was he?
Yes. My old man didn't like the show, so he threw me at one of the actors.
And that's how you got on the stage, huh?
The actors were too weak to throw me back. I had to join the cast.
Well, how long were you with Uncle Tom's Cabin?
2 weeks. When they started using fireflies for footlights, I resigned.
Well, how did you happen to go to Hollywood?
My grandfather died and left me a burlap muffler and a pair of high-button shoes. Where else can you wear a burlap muffler and high-button shoes?
Well, you've been out in California a long time. I guess you've seen a lot of changes in Hollywood.
Yeah, when I first went into pictures, an actor was an actor.
Well, what is an actor in Hollywood today?
He's a straight man for a set of dishes.
What is your opinion, speaking of pictures, what is your opinion of the double feature policy?
2 wrongs don't make a right.
Well, do you think the moving picture will eventually replace the old-fashioned sleeping tablet, Mr. Sparks?
Not unless you make another one, Mr. Allen.
Oh, you saw my last picture, did you?
Yes, I have insomnia. I saw it all.
Well, enough about me. I know that everyone is interested in one thing, Mr. Sparks. How did you acquire your sunny disposition?
You mean, how did I get this out-of-the-money look?
Yes.
As As a baby, I was weaned on acidophilus and learned to take the bitter with the bitter.
The bitter with the bitter. And as you have grown up and copped your way through life, have you used any special diet to maintain your curdled outlook?
Yes, my stomach gives me a lot of trouble. I keep eating the wrong food just to get even with it.
I notice every time I see you in a picture, you have a cigar in your mouth.
Where else would I have a cigar in my...
Well, no, I just wondered if you smoke.
Of course I smoke. You don't think I park a cigar in my mouth to hold up my upper plate, do you?
Oh, the lower one. You hold it down. But you must enjoy smoking.
Not me. I dip my cigars in gasoline. They taste like they're backfiring. I like them that way.
Well, cheer up, Ned. The outlook isn't so bad, you know. Remember that old saying, let a smile be your umbrella?
Yeah, did you ever look up and smile when it started to rain?
No.
I did.
What happened?
I got a mouthful of soft water.
Well, I guess that mouthful of soft water about washes up our interview, Ned. It's been nice having you leer at me from across the microphone.
Yeah, I've suffered a lot, too.
Say, before you go, Ned, how about doing me a great favor and giving your radio fans a rare treat at the same time?
You want me to sing again?
No. I'm a friend of Tibbetts.
Uh-huh.
We've heard you sing, but no one, as far as I know, has ever heard you laugh. Now, how about letting us bring America your first and perhaps your last laugh?
Well,
I know it's sort of short notice, but you can scare one up, can't you?
All right, are you ready?
Okay.
Ha, ha, ha.
Well, thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the mighty Alan...
Huzzahs with salutations.
No, not now, Portland. Yes, later on, if you don't mind. The mighty Allen Art Players, ladies and gentlemen, returned from their season of summer stock at the Good Gulf Station on Route 1 north of Stamford. Tonight they present their version of that 20th Century Fox epic of exploration, Stanley and What's-His-Name. Tonight you will hear for the first time the real reason why Henry M. Stanley failed to bring Dr. Livingstone back from Africa.
Introducing our cast of characters.
I am Henry M. Stanley, American newspaper reporter. In 1876, the editor of the New York Herald sent me into the heart of darkest Africa in search of Dr. Livingstone.
Hello, I'm Dr. Livingstone. Since I'm not going to be found for 8 minutes yet, I think I'll pop out for a spot of tea. Cheerio.
Me African native. Me not in the play. Me just here to play the hot tom-tom. Listen. That jump guy.
This is the true story of Stanley and Livingstone. On April 1st, 1876, I, Henry M. Stanley, sailed from New York to find Dr. Livingstone. When I met him in the jungle, I was to make a remark that would echo down through the ages. Day and night, as my boat plowed through the bounding main, that sentence I was to say ran through my brain.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
Yes, when I found the lost missionary, I would say, Dr. Livingstone, I presume. Africa, the land of cannibals and cobras, mystery and mumbo-jumbo. No sooner had we landed at Zanzibar and started inland than my assistant Jeff and I had a taste of Africa's terrors. Our first hideous experience occurred the second day. We were walking through the underbrush. Jeff spoke.
Well, Mr. Stanley, I reckon we're in the suburbs of Africa, all right.
Yes, Jeff. Gad, what a desolate country. And somewhere in this dismal interior is Dr. Livingstone.
You're sure going to a lot of trouble to pull that crack of yours on the dock, Mr. Stanley. What's that line again?
Dr. Livingstone, I presume.
Yeah.
Gad, how I have rehearsed that line.
Well, you sure have. Say, who's this man coming through the grass?
Say, it might be Dr. Livingston. I'll speak to him. Dr. Livingston, I presume?
Bula Bula. Jumping jackals. He's a headhunter.
Savage.
Bula Gula. Chief, catch him 2 heads. Make bookends.
My gun, Jeff.
The guns ain't loaded, Mr. Stanley.
Paleface, make ready. Die.
Look out! Look out, that spear!
There's only one thing to do, Jeff.
What?
Chief, kill white man.
Oh, yeah? Look, Chief.
Devil! 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 Devil!
Boy, you sure scared him, Mr. Stanley. What did you put on him?
My passport picture. Our first dilemma in hand, our little safari was quickly formed, and we forged ahead into the trackless wastes of the jungle. Onward we trekked to Tangahiki. Here we stopped at a tourist camp for supper and a good night's rest. I had just dozed off. A knock sounded at the door of my cabin. Number 31. Come in.
Pardon, Buana. Native runner outside asked to see Mr. Stanley.
Bring him in, boy. He may have news of Livingston. I'll rehearse my speech. Dr. Livingston, I presume. Dr. Livingston, I presume.
Here
Dr.
he
Livingston.
is, Buana.
Unga, bunga, unga, unga, bombi, pakichaw.
What does this winded heathen say, boy?
He ran 1,000 miles through jungle. See you.
Unga, buana, pula, muk, runner, unga, lunga.
What was that afterthought, boy?
He say, are you newspaper man from
Yes,
America?
yes, I am the newspaper man. What does he want?
Okay, okay. Boggle ranga tanga polamak, kikabuk dingo jum jum, rigabong. Oh?
Yes, boy, what does he say?
He say, confidentially, you think he run for a 3rd time?
Bidding a hasty farewell to this Ubangi Walter Lippman, the next morning we pressed through the tropical underbrush, still searching for the missing Dr. Livingston. As we crept through the dense foliage one morning, a solitary figure approached us. As he drew near, I spoke to him. Ahoy there! Dr. Livingston, I presume?
Now, I'm Ned Sparks. How do you get out of Radio City?
Turning our backs on this mirage, we trekked ever onward. 2 months later, in the little village of Tongabonga in Uganda, I heard that a white man had been seen only recently. Weakly rehearsing my line, I staggered into the native chief's hut. He spoke to me.
Jambo, white man.
Jambo, chief.
Welcome, Tongo Bungo. Speed limit 10 miles per hour.
I'm looking for another white man, chief.
White man? Him come here today, morning.
This morning? Which way did he go?
Him stop here. Chief have him for lunch.
As your guest?
As pot roast.
Gad, chief, you have eaten Dr. Livingston.
No, not Dr. Livingston. The name on the menu, Frank something.
Frank? I don't know any.
Frank, excuse, Chief, indigestion beginning. Bring him back alive. Bring him back alive. Bring him back alive.
Frank Buck, good cat. Yes, I, Henry M. Stanley, heard the last encore the great animal impresario ever gave. We drank a bicarbonate to his memory, placed a wreath on the chief's stomach, and went our weary way. Deeper and deeper into the grim African interior, we struggled on in our endless search for Livingston. Nights fraught with terror, days so scorching hot that rubber trees vulcanized themselves. Still, we struggled on. And then, one day, we came upon a little hut in the center of a clearing. Again, Jeff spoke.
Well, look, Mr. Stanley. The sign on that hut. What does it say?
Dr. Livingston.
Yeah.
Office hours 1 to 3. Thank heavens, Jeff. Our search is ended.
Yes, sir. Now, what are them drums, Mr. Stanley?
Look in through that window, Jeff.
Oh, where? What natives? They're entertaining the doctor with a tom-tom jam session.
At last I am about to make my historic remark. When he opens that door, I am going to say, Dr. Livingston, I presume. What understatement. What savoir-faire. That sentence, Jeff, will stand the test of time.
Dr. Livingston, I presume?
Yes.
Boy, sounds like another Wash You Dare Charlie.
Stand back, Jeff. I'll knock.
Hello. I say, what do you want?
Dr. Livingston, I presume.
What?
Dr. Livingston, I presume.
Not old boy, those nasty drums, I can't hear you.
I said Dr. Livingston, I presume.
I don't get it. Sounds like you're saying Dr. Livingston, I presume.
That's what I am saying.
Of course I'm Dr. Livingston. Who are you?
My name is Stanley.
What?
Stop those drums. I'm losing my voice. Stop those drums.
Oh, the drums. Oh, of course I want. I say Pongo. Pugga-jugga. Now, Mr. Stanley, just what was it you were trying to say to me?
Dr. Livingston, I presume.
Ah, laryngitis, I presume. That'll be $2.
For 2 days and 2 nights, Jeff and the doctor fed me herbs and bark to bring my voice back. Finally, I was well enough to discuss the question of bringing Dr. Livingston back to civilization. I left my hut one morning and crept to his office by appointment.
Well, I say, Stanley, old Boy Scout, how's the patient today?
Fine, Doctor. I'm ready to start the trek with you back to civilization.
Oh, ripping. I shall call my daughter, Miss Papa.
Your daughter, Doctor? You have your little girl with you here in Africa?
Why not? She's right at home in the jungle. She even has an orangutan playmate. She's teaching him how to talk, you know.
A talking orangutan? Tad, what a story for the New York Herald. Where is this simian?
My daughter's feeding him in the next room. Pop it, old boy.
Fine, I'll do that. I'll be right back.
Drink to me only with thine eyes, and you will be mighty thirsty. Drink to...
Well, I'll be...
I see, Mr. Stanley. Have you seen my daughter and her baboon so quickly?
Yes, Doctor.
Well, then are you ready to take us back to civilization, Stanley?
No, Dr. Livingston. I have changed my mind.
You what?
You are not going back, Dr. Livingston.
Stanley, put down that gun!
I am sorry, Doctor. I do this in the interests of humanity.
Oh, I'm dying. I presume.
Mr. Stanley, what have you done?
I've killed him, Jeff.
What? You traveled 5,000 miles to find this lost missionary. You had the greatest scoop in history. Why did you kill Dr. Livingston?
To keep him from bringing his daughter back to America, Jeff. Her name is Mary.
Mary Livingston.
Yes. I couldn't bring her talking orangutan back to civilization. Look at him. Come in here, you.
Well, does he talk?
Does he? Say something, Chim.
Jello again.
And so ends the tragic story of Henry M. Stanley and Dr. Livingston. If you doubt this authentic statement of the true facts, ladies and gentlemen, tune in next Sunday night, and you will hear Mary Livingston and her orangutan in a half hour of comedy, I presume. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Wednesday evening we bring you...
Huzzahs with salutations. And welcome back today.
Yes, Mrs. Stanley. We'll see you next week. That's a frame-up, huh? Your song of the week.
A roll out of the barrel. Oh, we'll have a...
There's no O in roll out the barrel, is there?
Oh, yeah, it's the bunghole.
Oh. And our guest star will be...
Bert Lauer, the Cowardly Lion of The Wizard of Oz.
And music. Good night.
The selection Are You Having Any Fun is from George White Scandal. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
with Fred Allen, folks. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. La-di-da with our guest star, Bert Lauer, that cowardly fugitive from the Wizard of Oz. The time has come. It's the Fred Allen Show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, any similarity between the next voice you will hear and any living voice is purely coincidental and a figment of the acoustic. The unfortunate owner of this nasal impediment is Fred Allen in person.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we assemble with good intentions.
Oh, no. Never mind the good intentions, Fred. How are your jokes?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Harry. You know, radio is the one industry where the law of averages doesn't function. In radio, it always seems that a comedian's intentions and his jokes are direct opposites.
And you're here with good intentions tonight, Fred.
The best, Harry.
Well, I'll be back later, Fred.
Now, no, you don't. Wait a minute. You're going to stay right here with me and swelter. Gee, it's sure hot in here tonight, isn't it? Hey, Pete.
Yeah?
When the band plays the next number, tell the trombones to blow over this way, will you?
What for?
To get a little relief from this hot air around here.
Why don't you stop talking?
Now, if you're trying to get me hot under the collar, Mr. Van Steeden, the humidity has beaten you to it. Look, I show you in here. You see? See, I've never seen heat like this in October, Harry. Have
Well,
you?
this is Indian summer, Fred.
Well, we just had one Indian summer in September.
Yeah. Well, I guess this year it's a double feature.
You think it is?
Yeah.
Well, it certainly was hot Saturday. I went up to see that Alabama-Fordham game, remember?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
It got so hot in the first quarter, Fordham took out their fullback and put in a good humor man. In the second, he had trouble going around the ends with his wagon, I might. In the they threw his vanilla for a loss. In the second quarter, they took the pigskin off the ball and put on a cretonne cover. And towards the end of the game, you know, it finally got so hot. Say that, you know, that knock just came in time, Harry. That next hot joke wasn't so hot. Fortunately. Come in.
Mr. Allen?
Yeah?
Are you back on the air for good?
Yes.
That's done it. Goodbye, all.
Wait a minute. Hold him, Harry.
I got him. Go ahead.
You came in here last Wednesday night. You pulled that same line, and then you shot yourself.
I know, but last week I missed.
Well, he didn't miss himself tonight.
You know, we ought to do this show in a morgue, Harry. It would save a lot of cleaning up around here.
Huzzah for salutations and welcome back
Now,
to
wait,
the-
what is this? An echo in the studio? Wasn't that your speech last week, Portland?
Yes, but I didn't get a chance to say it.
Well, it's a little late to welcome me back now. You heard the show last week.
Oh, was that the show?
Uh-huh.
Mama said it was your rehearsal.
Oh, no. We, last week was the first program. Don't believe all you hear. Didn't your mother hear it?
Only part of it.
What happened?
In the middle of the program, Mama's portable radio got down off the table and went into the closet.
The portable radio walked out on me. Well, that proves at least that this program is going places. Say, Harry, even if it's only in closets. Say, Harry, did you hear? You know, closets are handy with the moths in the closets and the Millers on the program. Say, Harry, let it go. Let the hell. Say, Harry, did you hear any comments on last week's Fandango? Cross your heart.
No, Fred. I went right home and stayed in the house all week.
Oh, right after the... Well, how about you, Pete?
I didn't hear anybody speak right out, but,
I knew that was coming. That little conjunction. But what?
the sponsor was seen talking to Phil Baker.
Through an interpreter, I suppose. Well, I'm getting nowhere in high. Well, look, did anyone see any notices, anything in the papers?
I didn't see your name mentioned, but I did see a notice in Winchell's column. It could have meant you.
Yeah, what did Walter say?
The line read, "What comedian is on his last egg?" What?
Mr. Van Steeden, did you ever have any hair on your head as a baby?
No, I was as bald as a honeydew.
And your mother was nearsighted, wasn't she?
How did you know?
By your conversation. You are slap happy.
I don't get it.
Yes. How does Peter being bald as a daisy and his mother being nearsighted make him slap happy?
Well, she must have spanked him on the head.
If that's wit, I'm an icky.
Well, that's wit.
Then I'm an icky.
Van Steeden? Is that fellow who's on his last egg says company now, if you just know. Van Steeden, you are a keen judge of character, which line is no longer needed since you blew the other one. Where was I?
You were trying to find out about last week's program.
Oh, yes. Somebody must have heard it beside that guy on Variety. Let me see. Win Murray.
Yes, Mr. Allen.
Now, what was the reaction out your way? Where do you live?
In Jackson Heights.
Oh, Jackson Heights. That's a suburb of the World's Fair, isn't it?
Yes, Jackson Heights overlooks the fair.
Well, that was the trouble. Jackson Heights started overlooking the fair, and a trend set in. You know, I hear that next summer they're going to start conscription to get people to go to the fair. If you get in Class 1A, you have to pack up and leave right away.
I wouldn't know, Mr. Allen.
Oh, well, that's beside the point, as Grover said when he put the Perisphere next to the Trilon. What I really want to know, Win, is this. Did you hear anyone around Jackson Heights speaking about last week's program?
Only my family.
And what did your family allow?
They said there wasn't enough of me on the program.
There wasn't enough? Is there any more of you, Win, put on the program?
No, this is all of me, thank heaven.
Gosh, I'd hate to have you on my mind, Win.
You'd sure have a load.
Yes, I would.
Oh, don't pay any attention to Mr. Allen, Win.
Nobody else around here does, Win.
Oh, I can take it.
Oh, I'm only kidding, Winnie. I'm just trying to find out how I can improve the program.
Well, I can recite.
I can tear off the jive.
Now, wait a minute, everybody. This may be trouble. Come in.
You want an opinion?
You heard the program?
Yes.
And?
It's too slow.
You mean?
Speed it up.
I should.
That's it. Bang, bang, bang. Goodbye.
He must be in a fast business.
I make minute rubs. So long.
Minute rub.
Gee, that was the sponsor.
You heard what he said, Allen. Want speed.
Okay, the sponsor wants speed. That's what he's going to get. Now, on your toes, everybody. We'll start the program over. Take it away, Pete.
All right, partner, Sal presents. And here he is.
Thank you, and
here she is.
Hello?
Well, you can't get it any faster than that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. According to my timely little reminder notebook, I see there are only 74 more days before Christmas. So this is a very good time to give you a few hints on your Yuletide shopping.
Pardon me, Fred, but don't you think a hint on tomorrow's shopping list would be a little more timely?
Well, Miss Von Zell, if you want to quibble, yes, I do.
Well, then, ladies and gentlemen, I'd suggest that tomorrow you go to your druggist and get a tube of Ipana toothpaste.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we present our invited guest, a man who comes to glorify the evening, a comedian. Oh, now, wait a minute, Harry. Try to hold in.
Well, I can't hold in, Fred. I just saw him outside. Does he look funny?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this hilarious chap is... Oh, now, Portland.
I saw him in The Wizard of Oz. Oh, boy, is he a wow.
Quiet, you two.
That guy's a riot.
Yes, that's what everybody says, folks. Meet the funniest man in the world, Bert Lahr.
Thank you.
You're a scream, Mr. Lahr.
Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for this boisterous welcome.
Well, Bert, you're the funniest man in the world, so I'm going to keep quiet now and just let you get funny.
Well, Fred,
let's go, Bertie, old boy.
Well, this is embarrassing, Fred. I don't know how to tell you.
Well, you tell me what, Bert?
I don't feel funny.
Bert, after that build-up, you don't feel funny.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess. I was funny all morning. I had the chambermaid screaming around the hotel. The two I caught.
Well, if you were funny around the...
I was funny all afternoon.
You were?
Over in Lindy's, a fly flew in my soup.
Yeah?
I called the waiter over and said, take this soup spoon and bring me a fly swatter.
Did they laugh?
Laugh. 20 diners dropped their racing forms. That's what I can't understand, Fred. All day long, you might say, I've been a pixie on the wing, a gay blade, a spontaneous pantaloon.
But right now,
I don't feel funny.
I heard you on Bing Crosby's program, Mr. Lahr, and you were witty.
I was brilliant, Portland. Remember that gag I told about the two patients meeting in Mayo's clinic? The first patient says, oh, this will kill you. The first patient says, I'm aching from neuritis. And the second patient says, I'm Mandelbaum from Chicago. Yeah, I was a rowdy that night. I was in the groove with Crosby.
Well, you don't. I can't understand what's the matter tonight. You don't think it's something mental?
Mental with me? Quit kidding.
Well, you know, it could be your libido, Bert.
Yeah, maybe it's my subconscious. Maybe I ought to see a psychoanalyst or something. You know, with Crosby, I was another man.
Oh, and could we use the other man right now? I can't understand why you can be funny with Crosby and with me, nothing.
Well, I don't know, Fred. I think I like to work with Bing. He gives me something.
Well, I'm giving you something.
Yeah, but with Bing it was money.
I see what you mean. You, in other words, are averse to barter.
Look, I'm broad-minded, Fred, but after all, what can I do with 200 tubes of toothpaste?
Yes, I get your point, Bert. After all, I'm a point killer. After all, if you don't feel funny, let's forget the comedy tonight. We'll just kibitz around and chew the fat. You know, the public can't always expect a comedian to be funny.
That's what I say. People think if one comedian is funny, two comedians should be twice as funny.
Oh, it's silly. Now, here we are, you and I. You're a comedian, and I'm a comedian. We're together. Are we twice as funny?
To the contrary. To coin a phrase.
The corner phrase. Well, let's stop the whole thing. Say, how come you left Hollywood, Bert? You must have had a reason.
Yes, Fred. Hollywood went too far. It was up to me.
Well, what did you do?
It was my turn to go too far. So I got on a train and came east.
Oh, you mean out there you were getting in a rut artistically?
Yeah, I was tired of being a great lover.
You wanted to get away from it all?
Well, most of it. There was a little blinded Metro who might have intrigued me, but the silly little mix let me get away.
You must have taken it hard.
I was momentarily frustrated.
Really?
I renounced the human race. I sought solace in the animal kingdom.
Oh, and that is how you came to play the lion in The Wizard of Oz?
I would have played a flea on Bulldog Drummond.
Well, you certainly did a swell job, Bert. You still look like a lion to me.
That's the trouble. I got too far into character. Why, I was even starting to molt.
I can tell by the top of your head there. Well, are you continuing your animal characterization?
Not me. I'm sick of making a living on all fours. I want to play Ibsen, Chekhov, Odette. You know, one of those parts where I keep sipping cyanide of potassium all through the second act.
Well, do you really think you can play one of those serious roles?
Why not? What have I got that if John Barrymore had, he'd get rid of right away?
Why should a successful comedian want to play tragedy?
Oh, I'm a ham at heart, Fred. Give me a pair of spats, a bamboo cane, and a nod from Walter Hampton, and I'm in ecstasy.
Say, what do you expect to do when you retire, Bert?
Oh, I don't know. I may open a small toll bridge or something.
Well, now that we know your ambitions, what are you going to do here in the East besides fend off senility?
I'm going into a new musical show, a sequel to Amphitryon 39.
What's it called?
Butterfield 4230.
Does the show look like a hit?
Oh, yes. It's a little gem. We're rehearsing in Tiffany's window.
You're playing the lead, of course.
No, it's just a bit. 92 sides.
A bit.
Yeah, I'm on the stage 2 hours before the play begins. I'm ever present but unimportant.
Well, what sort of a show is it, Bert?
Well, the best way I can describe it is, it's a 17th century Hellzapoppin'.
It is. I thought Hellzapoppin' went farther back than that. Some of those shows. Well, what character do you assume?
Well, in the first act, I'm a subdued knave.
A subdued knave.
In the second act, I'm a tippet mender.
Oh, you mend tippets, do you?
Yes. And in the last act, I play Gaspard Levine, the muscle man, in a bistro.
You run the artistic gamut, as it were.
Yes. I range from the tentatively foul to the delightfully obnoxious.
In other words, you ignore the audience's heartstrings to get right to their nostrils.
To put it bluntly, yes. My big scene is in the second act. As the tippet mender, I am discovered in Madame Pompadour's hope chest. Uh-huh. The king is bibbing in the anteroom. A Florentine enters. I suspect poltroonery. I chide Pompadour. When she is well chidden, I degrade her. She is choose me. I gesundheit her. The Florentine offers to roll the dice for Pompadour's favors. The dice are cocked. I'm undone. Curtain.
Just in time. It sounds like a great play, Bert.
Yes. They just grabbed the author for observation.
Are you singing in this show, Bert?
Well, nothing to speak of. I cajole Madame Pompadour with a chansonnette.
You do? Well, say, how about a little chanson now, before you go?
I hoped you would ask me to sing tonight, Fred. I really did. Yes.
Oh. Why?
I want to get even with a guy in St. Paul.
And what form is your revenge taking, Bert?
Well, I'll catch up with an old request. Roses of Picardy.
Roses of Picardy. Thank you. Thank you. A wire has just come in from the management of the Baldwin Locomotive Works. Bert Lauer opens with Unit 701 next Thursday morning. Thank you, Bert. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce a discovery of mine. A gentleman whose imitation of birds and animals is positively astounding. His repertoire includes wild turkeys, bull moose, mockingbirds, and even the trumpeting of elephants.
Look, excuse me, Mr. Allen. Just seals tonight.
Just seals?
I'm sorry. Just seals.
Yes, but for an artist of your versatility...
Yes, I know it's humiliating, but I'm getting a cold, and no matter what I imitate, it sounds like a seal barking anyhow.
Oh, I am sorry.
Me too. I hate letting you down like this, but there just isn't anything I could do about it.
Oh, I think there is. Just you follow this very sensible suggestion of Harry Von Zell's.
Don't ever neglect a cold.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the mighty Allen Art Players, whose notices after last week's performance were suppressed in 364 family newspapers throughout the country, take another chance. Tonight they offer a satire on big business. It's called Dr. Scollop's Quandary. Or it was the Institute of Private Opinion's last check, and it bounced. Atmosphere, Peter.
Hello? Hello? Is this Vanderbilt 122456? This is the Scarf Institute of Private Opinion, madam. We're taking a poll on women's fashions. What is your opinion of the buckle? Oh, you wouldn't. It looks like a sunken knapsack. Thank you.
Oh, good morning, Miss Graff.
Good morning, Dr. Scott.
Public Pulse Feeler number 1 is on the job, Miss Graff. Dad. I hate to put my muddy shoes up on that clean mahogany desk.
How did your shoes get so muddy?
I was chasing the man in the street, and he ran up an alley. But that's life in the survey game, Miss Graff. I've got to pry into people's private lives to find out what America thinks. Get me a number.
What number?
Any number.
Yes, sir.
I always call a preview number to warm up my questioning technique for the day's work.
Here's your party.
Hello? Scallop Institute of Private Opinion calling.
Hello?
Would you mind telling me how many lumps you found in your oatmeal at breakfast this morning?
I never...
How many people read your newspaper over your shoulder as you came downtown in the subway this morning?
I never...
Do you think a woman's place is in the home? And if so, what kind of a home?
I never answer questions.
No?
No, I ask them.
Who are you?
Professor Quiz.
Yeah. I drew a statistical blank, Miss Graff. I'll try another number.
This telephone survey business is some profession.
Not profession, Miss Graff. It's a calling.
And what they're calling it is nobody's business.
And business is booming, Miss Graff. You know that I have just landed the Puma cigarette account? Their slogan is, don't forget your change, forget your cigarette.
Puma cigarettes?
Yes, Puma Cigarettes have just started a new radio program starring that comedian, Bob O'Burl. Now, I'm starting a survey on O'Burl's popularity and a coincidental check on Puma cigarettes.
Shall I start calling?
As soon as I finish this unfinished business here on the... What's this graph running down the front of my coat?
Your fountain pen is leaking.
Oh, so it is. Remind me to blot myself later.
Yes, sir.
Did you put through that survey on hamburger preference? With or without onions?
Yes, I called 500 hamburger stands.
And your final results were?
300 wrong numbers and 199 busy signals.
That's 499. You did get one number.
Yes. I spoke to a man who had just eaten 6 hamburgers with onions.
What did he say?
I couldn't write it down. It was a sound.
Oh. We should have taken a recording. It was obviously a departed calorie voting its approval. Come in.
Hello, Stokes. Yes, sir. Who am I?
You want a survey taken to decide?
No, quit kidding. But I'm Bob O'Burl, a radio comedian. Yes, sir.
You've just started on the Puma cigarette program.
That's me, yes, sir.
What brings you here, O'Burl?
Well, I hear you're taking a poll on my radio popularity.
That's right, O'Burl.
Yes?
The Puma Cigarette Company is spending $100,000 to find out if America is really listening to your program.
Yeah?
Your job depends on the Dr. Scallop survey, O'Burl.
Yeah?
The Scallop Institute of Private Opinion is at work this very moment.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How am I doing, Doc?
I'll check up for you.
Clark, Vice President in charge of radio, darn it, speaking.
What are the figures on Bob O'Burl as of this very minute, Clunk?
Total phone calls, 2,000, Chief.
Tentative results?
1,998. Always listen to him.
And the other two?
One party was deaf, the other was a sponsor.
Check, Clunk.
Check, Chief. Well, how am I doing, Doc?
Phenomenally, O'Burl.
Yeah?
You are compiling the best record my institute has ever polled.
Thanks, Doc. Well, I'm off to see a guy who's got the measles. I'll be back in a flash with a rash.
If America likes that guy, it's time the Indians took over again.
The Scallop check is foolproof, Miss Graff. The nation is Burl-minded. Get me any number at random.
Yes, sir.
I'll prove the public likes Bob O'Burl.
Here you are.
Hello?
Shirley Greenspan's residence. Mademoiselle Greenspan responding. So much no.
This is the Scallop Institute of Private Opinion, madam. You like Bob O'Burl?
Oh, small. You are catching the wrong number, Bobby.
Who is this?
I'm not telling you who is this, and you aren't telling me who is that.
This is the Scallop Institute.
So nothing is wrong with my scallop. I got the full head here, thank you.
No, madam. What do you think of Bob O'Burl?
Again, Mr. Boyle, cutting out the double talk body.
But, madam...
Getting off the line, Mister, or I am complaining to Fiorella.
Now, listen, I am...
My husband is coming. Calling me back in 5 minutes, darling.
Well, I'll be...
Shall I send you a memo confirming it?
That's what I get for interfering in Clunk's department. What's this note here on my desk?
It's a memo from the wristwatch king.
Pullover?
Yes. He wants to know the results of your survey on dunking.
Oh, yes. Pullover is designing a coffee-proof wristwatch for habitual dunkers. He wants a nationwide check on dunkers' habits. Take down these messy statistics, Miss Graff.
Yes, sir.
Composite conclusion, 62% of all Americans dunk.
Check.
18% are neat dunkers. They hold a spoon under their crullers to catch the seepage. 12% are sloppy dunkers. They wring their donuts out after dunking. Get these figures right off to Pullover.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Soap. Yes, sir.
Now, what is it now, O'Burl? I am a busy man.
I know, Doc, but how about this popularity poll? It's got me worried.
Now, these semi-minute checks are highly irregular, O'Burl, but I will, in this instant, call again.
Thank you.
Clunk speaking. Still vice president in charge of radio, pending angina pectoris.
Now, before you are stricken, Clunk, what is the flash report on Bob O'Burl?
I'm still calling, Doctor.
Yes?
Last 500 phone calls unanimous. Everyone crazy about Bob O'Burl. It's staggering.
You are?
No, it is.
Oh. Okay, Clunk.
Okay.
Gad O'Burl, you're a vogue.
Yeah?
If these figures continue, you'll pass the fireside chats any minute.
Well, I'm off to visit my drunken uncle. He's an awful stew, and I do mean stew.
Well, he certainly kills him. And the sooner the better. Get me a number, Miss Graff.
Yes, sir.
I have got to check on the public's reaction to the Puma cigarette.
Ready, sir.
Hello?
Yeah?
The Scallop Institute calling, madam.
Yeah?
Have you tried the new Puma cigarette, madam?
Yeah.
What is your opinion?
There's too many syllables in Puma. Take off the N-A and what have you got?
P.U.
That's my opinion.
Why, you have all these...
What happened?
This is what... Why, that wrong number. I'll find someone who likes Puma cigarettes if I have to start smoking them myself. Who is this?
Where is Dr. Scallop?
Faulkner Q. Pingree. The president of Puma Cigarettes.
Yes, Faulkner Q. Pingree.
We were just talking.
I'm going to do the talking now, Scallop.
Yes, Faulkner Q.
What are these phony reports you've been sending me about my radio program?
It's the biggest thing on the air. Your comedian is...
He's putrid. I've asked all my friends about this Bob O'Burl. None of them can stand him.
Now, you're wrong, Mr. Pingree. Our phone survey gives Bob O'Burl 100% rating.
Your survey's the bunk.
Figures don't lie.
Scallop, our contract is canceled.
But I can prove that people are listening to O'Burl, Mr. Pingree. My assistant, Clunk, has been phoning radio owners all day.
You've got to show me, Scallop.
I can show. I'll show you Clunk's results, Mr. Pingree.
Well, make it snappy, Scallop. I've got a conference at Beaten Bat and Keaton's Cat.
Well, one of them is bound to wait for you. Clunk's office is down the hall, right through here.
Right.
This man, Clunk, you know, does nothing but phone unsuspecting people hour upon hour. He is neurotic, but infallible. Here's his office, here.
What do you think of Bob O'Burl, mister? Oh, you're nuts about him? Okay.
Well, Clunk, how goes your rendezvous with Desmo?
Oh, hello, Chief. Gosh, this Bob O'Burl poll is a landslide. I just got 50 more favorable reports.
Now, there you are, Mr. Pingree. That proves something.
Yes, it proves there's something screwy going on around here, Scallop.
That adjective, Mr. Pingree, is repulsive.
Wait a minute. Look at that telephone wire near the bottom.
Gosh, Chief, my phone wire's been cut.
What's this? Another wire's hooked onto it. Somebody has tapped this line.
That second wire leads next door, Scallop. What's in there?
That's an empty office.
I'll find out who's at the bottom of this survey sabotage. I'm going to look in that next office.
All right.
Yes, sir. I'm just adore Bob O'Burl. His jokes are simply precious. Yes, sir.
O'Burl! What are you doing here?
Why... hello, Mr. Finger.
What is this wiretapping skullduggery, O'Burl?
I'll tell you what it is, Scallop. No. O'Burl knew that nobody listened to his program.
No.
He tapped your Scallop survey wires. He sat in here all day, disguising his voice, pretending to be the great American public.
Is this true, O'Burl?
Yes, Dr. Scallop. You caught me with my rating down.
That is the last straw, Scallop. I'm through with you. I'm through with polls. I'm through with radio comedians.
Fine. Well, this proves something you sponsors should have guessed long ago.
What's that?
Many a radio comedian who's on top of a pole should really be hung at half-mast.
The Fred Allen Show. An hour of smiles with Fred Allen, folks. 3,600 seconds of fun and music. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. With our guest star, the mastermind of the donut industry. The time has come. It's the Fred Allen Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as the evening sun, a fiery orb, sinks slowly into the golden west, we turn with regret from the end of a perfect day to face the hectic hour we know is to come. And so we say aloha to peace and contentment, and helloa to Fred Allen in person.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, what sort of an introduction was that, Harry? I happened to hear it. You know, my ears have been fixed.
Yes.
The sun, that fiery orb, aloha, helloa. What was?
Well, I'm sorry, Fred.
You sounded like James Fitzpatrick checking out of Tahiti with one of his travelogues.
Oh, no, I just forgot myself, Fred. I've been working on my other job all afternoon. And...
What am I? Am I getting to be a sideline with you or something?
Well,
everyone should have a sideline, but picking on me. But what other job is this?
Oh, well, I thought you knew about that.
No, nobody
Oh, well, I'm announcing for the Pathé News now.
Well, that's certainly news to me. Have you got your picture stuck up on the corner of the screen like Lou Hair has?
Oh, no. No, I don't appear on the screen, Fred. I'm just a disembodied voice.
Disembodied?
Yeah.
Have you hung your head lately, Harry?
Not since last week's program, no.
Well, the next time you hang your head, look down. Disembodied.
Oh.
Why, you look as though you had just bolted the perisphere.
Oh, this. Well, all right, I am getting a slight abdominal puff.
A slight abdominal puff. If that bulge gets any bigger, Harry, you'll have to sew a snood on the front of your shirt. And while you're looking around for a needle and thread, we say aloha to your paunch, and I hope it doesn't answer, and helloa to the news of the week. Peter, the Ipana Newsreel presents Your News Cavalcade. Brooklyn, New York. Appellate Division in Brooklyn Court rules that any pedestrian crossing thoroughfare with traffic lights in his favor has the right of way until he reaches the other side, even though said lights change color while said pedestrian is in the middle of said thoroughfare. Ipana News interviews man in the street to get his reaction to this recent legal ruling. Mr. Truman Wassop, a former resident of Jackson Heights, says,
"This pedestrian's victory come too late for me.
Oh, you are a traffic light victim, Mr. Wassop?
I ain't seen me wife and kiddies for 2 years.
Really? Well, what happened?
Well, on the night of November 8, 1937, I'm starting home from work to Jackson Heights.
Yes?
I'm standing on the curb at 42nd Street. My body is poised My eyes is agleam. Every sense is alight. My sinews is tensed like a startled fawn.
Well, why?
I'm waiting for the lights to change.
You were on the qui-vive.
No, on the corner of 42nd Street.
Oh, I see.
Snap! The light goes green. I'm off. I get to the middle of the street. Snap! The light goes red.
Yes?
Traffic is on me with a mighty roar.
What did you do?
Well, I look to the right, a taxi. I look to the left, a bus. To the east, a motorcycle. To the west, a truck.
Gad, what a dilemma.
Yeah. I look down, and there is an open manhole. It's my only hope.
You dove down into that open manhole 2 years ago.
And I've been living there ever since. I can't get out.
Why not?
Well, every time I stick my head up out of the manhole,
Yes?
the kids in the block start a soccer game.
I was wondering what you were doing with 3 foreheads.
Yeah. Yeah, the contusions on me head has got contusions on them.
Well, condolences and thank you.
Hey, if you're ever passing that open manhole on 42nd Street, drop in.
I sure will. And sorry I brought you up just for that, Mr. Wassop. And thank you. A drugstore employee who welcomes the new pedestrian ruling is Mrs. Lovey Tannenbaum.
The Lovey you are spelling with twice E.
L-O-V-E-E.
Also, the last E shall be with a capital.
A capital at the end.
Tannenbaum you are making with a hyphen.
Well, I've never heard of a hyphen in Tannenbaum.
Well, confidentially, when we are living downtown, Tannenbaum, one word is all together. Oh. Now we are living uptown, we are making with a hyphen.
Oh, I see.
Upstairs is living Mrs. Goldberg. Goldberg, she's making with a semicolon.
A semicolon. Well, fine. Now that we've disposed of the neighborhood, what about this new traffic ruling?
For pedestrian, which I happen to be, it is meaning happy days, but positively.
Do you have occasion to cross the street a lot, Mrs. Tannenbaum?
Once a day for 6 years I am crossing 38th Street incessantly.
You cross 38th Street once a day.
At 5 o'clock through the duffel.
Through the duffel. Well, why?
Well, in my present capacity, I happen to be cashier at Pincus People's Pharmacy. It's a drugstore.
Well, I wouldn't have known otherwise. I'm unfortunate you mentioned it.
Across the street, but diagonal, is Boykovich, a dress shop.
Diagonal. I get your slant.
Every day before closing time, Boykovich is looking on the cash register, and Boykovich is saying, I got a headache. So I am coming across the street, diagonal, with aspirin.
And for 6 years, you have never had any difficulty crossing the street with your aspirin?
Once only. But with quick wit, I am muddling through to Boykovich.
Well, when did this happen?
On March 17th. It's St. Patrick's Day. The street is packed. I'm looking at a parade with traffic.
Yes?
Boykovich is there with a headache. I am here with the aspirin. And between Boykovich and the aspirin is going up and down the St. Patrick's parade.
A predicament. Well, how did you cross the street?
How is asking? Like a flash, I am joining the ancient order of Hibernians.
Yes?
The Hibernians in a jiffy is putting me in the parade.
Yes?
And I am marching across the street to Boykovich diagonal with the aspirin.
Some strategy. And you are still a member of the ancient order?
I'm a wild Irish
Well, you sure are incognito tonight. And thank you, Mrs. Lovey Tannenbaum. Another pedestrian who isn't bothered by the court's decision, Mr. Prentice Wetty.
Traffic lights ain't no skin off of my nose.
Have you a word of advice to offer pedestrians, Mr. Wetty?
Anybody that gets caught when the lights change has got to work out their own problem.
You don't feel for the other fellow.
It ain't no skin off of my nose. I've been caught in the middle of the street millions of times. It ain't no skin off of my nose.
I can see that.
I've stood out there with taxis and trucks brushing me so close you couldn't tell their chassis from mine. I kept me head.
But thousands of other pedestrians have been hurt.
It ain't no skin off of my nose.
Well, naturally.
I was out there this morning. Cars whizzing by me. One fender took off the seat of me pants.
I know. It wasn't any skin off of your nose. Well, happy healing, and thank you, Mr. Prentice Wetty. To have the pedestrians' rights clearly understood, Ipana News asks Judge Morley Spratt to define the recent legal ruling. Judge Spratt.
Where a prima facie case has not been nisi prius, the pedestrian status in crossing the highway is volenti non fit injuria. In other words, non feasant intensit is de mortuis or volvis tu geli star.
In your judicial opinion, Judge,
there is but one way to solve our present problem. Traffic regimentation.
Traffic regimentation.
Exactly.
Well, how would that work?
Mondays, all traffic will go east.
Yes.
Tuesdays, all traffic will go west.
Yes.
Wednesdays, east. Thursdays, west. Fridays,
well, what
east.
about the north
Saturdays,
and south?
Sunday.
What about...
What?
I said, what about the north and south?
Well, their differences were settled in the Civil War.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, just as long as everything is thoroughly understood. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Mastodonic Allen Art Group. Tonight they present a radio calamity entitled The Sound Man's Revenge, or He Only Pulled the Trigger a Little Way, because the leading man was half shot already. Peter.
This is station FOO. Through the courtesy of the Leffingwell Loan Company, we bring you the correct time. When you hear the client's body fall, it will be 9:48 Leffingwell Loan Shark time.
What? 90% interest. I'm ruined.
Oh. 9:48 Leffingwell Loan Shark time. Men, do you need cash? Call Leffingwell, the friendly financier. Leffingwell doesn't attach your salary or your automobile. All Leffingwell takes is your right eye. The left eye still belongs to you. Digby Livid, a satisfied Leffingwell client, right?
6 months ago, I didn't have no shirt on me back. I made a loan from Leffingwell's. Now I ain't got no skin on me back.
You, too, can get scun, folks. Remember our slogan, we aim to squeeze. Borrow the Leffingwell way, spelled W-A-Y.
And now Station FOO presents The Finnegan Playhouse, starring Dawson Bell.
Good evening. This is Dawson Bells coming to you through the courtesy of Finnegan's Fish Cakes. Tonight, Finnegan's Fish Cakes and Dawson Bells celebrate our first anniversary on the air. We are thrilled tonight to have as our guest Hollywood's most famous screen star, Miss Kitty Droopy. Audience, meet Miss Kitty Droopy.
Hello, everyone. I'm charmed to be here, Red Allen. Charmed with this, charmed with that, charmed with dear Dawson, charmed with... Oh, who pinched me?
Thank you. Thank you, divine Miss Droopy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, another anniversary treat. My program is famous, and rightly so, for my sound effects, conceived in solitude by me. I now present the man who has so faithfully executed my sound effects man, Theodore Slade. Speak your public, Slade. No, dear boy. Say something yourself.
Hello.
Thank you, Slade. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, Dawson Bells presents...
Act 1 of our Finnegan Fish Cake Playhouse. Tonight's masterpiece is entitled Jack and Jill. The radio version is by Dawson Bells from the Mother Goose rhyme of the same name. Prologue is by Dawson Bells.
Thank you. To most of us, Jack and Jill is a simple nursery rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill, and so on ad infinitum. Ah, but what tragedy lies behind this innocuous little rhyme? The heartbreaks of a country boy and his simple rustic sweetheart. Tonight is your narrator, I, Dawson Bells, acquaint you with the true story of Jack and Jill. I am Jack Jordan. I live somewhere in New England. New England, land of penury, misery, frustration. My father is a cruel man, cold and bitter as a December morning. One night I am in the barn alone. My father has given me no supper. I am making a popover of owl's eggs. As I lick the albumin of owl egg from my fingers, the barn door opens. My father enters.
Jack! Jack!
Yeah,
Go
Pa?
up the hill and fetch a pail of water.
Pail of water? No, siree. Not on no bitter cold night like this.
I said get a pail of water. Now get.
Pa said get, so I get. Outside that barn door I stood, seething with rage. Over and over again I said to myself, what shall I do? What shall I do? A voice within me answered.
Don't get that water. Don't get that water. Kill your father. Kill your father.
Yes, I would kill my father. Inside our squalid house, my father sat, his back to the door. I picked up an axe. Stealthily, I crept to the house. Silently, I opened the door. I lost my nerve. Quietly, I closed the door. Slade, I said quietly.
Sorrow, Mr. Phelps. I got so many sound effects here.
Well, concentrate, Slade.
Yes, sir.
Do that. I decided to forgive my father and fetch the pail of water. Yonder into the cold night I went. Up the steep hill with my heavy oaken pail I toiled. What was that huddled form crouching in my path? Was it a girl? It was. I stopped. The girl spoke.
Hello.
Howdy.
I've lost my way, sir. Help me, please. I need warmth, shelter.
You with the Bose unit?
Oh, no. I'm not lost with a group. I'm just lost.
Oh,
What's your name?
Jack Jordan. What's yours?
Jillabacue Muckinfuss.
Jillabacue, Muckinfuss?
Yes.
Mind if I call you Jill?
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill.
This dialogue, ladies and gentlemen, is not to be found in the original Mother Goose version. It has been interpolated by Dawson Bells. We return you now to the play.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill, I love you, Jill. Yes, love had crept into my bleak little world on rosy, dimpled knees. As Jill and I sat there on that hill, the music of her musical name ran musically through my head like music. All about me, the trees, the bushes seemed to be singing.
Jillabacue Muckinfuss. Jillabacue Muckinfuss. Jillabacue Muckinfuss.
Yes, Jillabacue Muckinfuss. Ah, ecstasy, our very spirit seemed to embrace. As Jill and I prepared to learn something from our spirits, a figure burst upon us from out the gloom. It was my father. My father spoke.
Oh, I told you to fetch a pail of water. I'll teach you to disobey your pa.
My father lunged at me. I parried his thrust. His hand flashed to his belt. I asked myself one question. Was my father pulling his knife?
You're doggone right I'm pulling my knife.
Yes, I was doggone right. Father was. pulling his knife. Jill screamed. Father advanced. Father said,
Right here, son.
I felled my father with a blow.
Oh!
Blind with rage, I snatched the knife. I was no longer master of myself. I stood over Father's prostrate form. I raised the knife
And so ends Act 1 in our Finnegan Playhouse. Jack's father doesn't like that upraised knife, does he? But what would he say if on the end of that upraised knife he saw a delicious Finnegan fish cake? He'd say, shoot the fish cake for me, Jack boy. Housewives, take a tip from Pa Jordan. Stop in at your grocer's tomorrow. Buy a box of his appetizing, golden brown, tangy fresh, butter soft, creamy smooth, mellow rich, honey sweet, oven crisp, fluffy flake, Finnegan's fish cake. And now, Act 2 of the Finnegan Playhouse, presenting Jack and Jill, and starring Dawson Bell.
The scene, the top of the hill. Jill is discovered sitting. I, Jack Jordan, had just killed my father. Into the night, Jill and I fled. A storm came up. The wind howled. The thunder roared. The rain came down in torrents. Slade, turn that seltzer bottle the other way.
I'm sorry, sir. These sound effects, I'm going dipping.
Man yourself, Slade.
Yes, sir.
Jill and I fled down the hill, onward, ever onward. My father's body had been discovered. The long arm of the law reached out to grasp us. From the south came the county sheriff on horseback. From the east came the deputy by train. From the west came the G-men by airplane. And from the north, the Mounties in their sleigh. Could Jill and I escape? We grew mad with fear. The law was closing in. Airplanes zoomed. Sleigh bells jangled. Horses hoofed. Slade! What is going on here?
There's sorrow, sir. These sound effects is getting me screwy.
Where was I?
You were here with us.
Oh, yes, the sheriff on horseback. The sheriff pulled up his horse and spoke.
Hold on there, Jack Jordan. I'm arresting you for murder.
Well, I ain't submitting, Sheriff.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Jill.
Jack.
Come with me, Jack Jordan.
I was resolved that sheriff would never take me alive. I pulled my father's knife. I stabbed that sheriff to the heart. I stabbed him, Slade, not shot him.
Sorrow, Mr. Phelps. I'm going nuts here.
What was that, Slade?
I killed him again.
This is confusing.
You're telling me.
And now, Jill spoke.
Jack, I can't stand it.
Jill, put down that gun.
No, I'll end it all. Goodbye, Grover.
Slade, the gun! The gun!
Oh, sorrow, sir.
Oh.
Jill is dead. The sheriff dead. My father dead. I alone live.
Yeah, but not for long, Dawson Phelps.
Slade, what does this mean?
I'm going nuts, Phelps. Horses' hooves, bodies falling, sleigh bells. Ever since you went on the air, you've driven me crazy with your sound effects. I can't stand it no more.
Put down that gun, Slade. What are you doing?
I'm getting my rhythm. That's what I'm doing. Take this, Phelps.
Oh, this is Dawson Bells signing off permanently, ladies and gentlemen. Pending rigor mortis, I remain obediently yours. Oh.
And this is Slade, the sound effects man, quitting for good, folks. And I remain disobediently yours. Oh.
The Fred Allen Show. An hour of smiles with Fred Allen, folks. 3,600 seconds of fun and music. Fun with our star comedian, Fred Allen. With our guest star, Bob Begley. The time has come. It's the Fred Allen Show. And now, our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is a young man who has just caught 1939 under the mistletoe and is preparing to kiss the old year goodbye. Here he is, Fred Allen, in person.
Thank you. How did you enjoy your Christmas? Did you make the welkin ring again this year?
Yes, sir, Fred.
Enjoyed yourself, huh?
Oh, say, I've had high old times at Christmas, Fred.
Yeah.
But I think the high old time I had this Christmas was higher than any high old times I ever had.
Oh.
And I've had some high old times.
You had a high old time.
Yes, sir.
Well, did you hang up your stocking this year?
Oh, you bet, Fred.
What happened?
Well, nothing. I just put it back on again in the morning.
Hey, you're lucky. I put my stocking back on and stepped in 3 jelly beans. I had to send the stocking over to Schraff's to get it laundered, Harry.
Well, that's the best. Oh, say, Fred, I'm sorry. I forgot. Thanks a lot for your present. That turkey stuffing.
Oh, the turkey? You got the turkey stuffing. How was it, Harry? How did it taste?
Well, that I can't say, Fred. The zipper on the turkey got stuck, and we had to nibble around the outside. We couldn't get the turkey open.
Oh, isn't that a
Merry December 27th, folks.
Hey, what?
Can't tell what'll happen.
What if somebody should put a weather strip on that door? Things are creeping in here when you don't... What is that, a Merry December 27th? Are you making your own holidays, Mr. Van Steeden?
No, but I didn't see you fellas Christmas.
Well, that's all right, see?
Did you have a good Christmas, Harry?
Oh, I had a high old time.
He's had high old times, but he got altitude with this last high old time. But from his looks, I don't think he's grounded yet, as a matter of fact. What sort of a day did you have, Mr. Van Steeden?
I was going all day.
Okay.
Christmas carols, community things, solos around in people's backyards.
Gee, you spent the whole day singing, Pete?
I must have sung Abdullah Bulbul Amir 200 times, Harry.
Abdullah Bulbul?
Well, what kind of a carol is that? What has Abdul the Bulbul Amir got to do with Christmas?
Abdul's a Turk.
Yeah.
Turks come from Turkey, and Turkey goes with Christmas.
I can't say that.
I'll join you outside as soon as I wind this up. What did you sing for an encore? Cranberry Me Not on the Lone Prairie?
Okay, Alan, just for that, here's your loaf of bread back.
Thanks.
What's that?
Alan gave me a loaf of bread for Christmas.
A loaf of bread?
He said if somebody gave me an electric toaster for Christmas, I'd be sitting pretty.
Well, just because you didn't get the toaster, you don't have to give me this bread back, Van Steeden. I don't.
A crumb will feel more at home with a loaf of bread than I will.
He who tells a joke and runs away will live to tell a joke some other day. And he who has the last laugh in radio is but a music cue, Mr. Van Steeden. And with this sage rejoinder, left over from Harry's turkey stuffing, we turn to the latest news of the week. The Ipana News presents The World in Review. New York City, New York. Selznick International production of Gone with the Wind, the motion picture eagerly awaited by millions who read the book, has triumphant opening in New York City. Celebrities involved in making a picture are acclaimed by press and public. Ipana News interviews some of the little fellows whose names didn't come up at the opening, but whose activities made Gone with the Wind possible. First, Mr. Mervyn Nard. What about this sensational picture, Mr. Nard?
Why, if it wasn't for me, Gone with the Wind would never have been made.
Well, I didn't see your name among the screen credits. Mr. Selznick produced the picture, didn't he?
Yes.
Victor Fleming directed it?
Yes.
Max Steiner wrote the music?
Yes.
Walter Plunkett designed the costume?
Yes.
And still you...
Yes. I maintain that the man who really started the ball rolling was little old yours truly, Mervyn Nard.
You?
Yes. I, Mervyn Nard, said the one word that made the picture possible.
Well, how did it happen?
Well, it was 3 years ago in March. Mr. Selznick buzzed for me.
You flew to his office?
Yes.
And?
Mr. Selznick was reading the last page of a book. I stood at attention. Mr. Selznick finished reading. He put the book on his desk. He raised his eyes to mine.
And said?
Mervyn, he said, this book will make a great picture. I met his glance. I said, yes.
That is what started Gone with the Wind?
Yes.
If you had said no that morning, what would have happened?
I'd have been fired. I'm a yes man.
Aren't we all? And thank you, Mr. Mervyn. Yes, and yes to you. The man at the studio who had the most trouble with the picture was a gentleman named Humphrey Dill. Mr. Dill.
I've been 30 years in the picture game, and I never seen nothing like I've been through on Gone with the Wind.
Well, what is it you do at the studio, Mr. Dill?
I'm the adjective man.
The adjective man?
Yeah. When a producer finishes a picture, he turns in the details to me.
Oh, and you?
I make up an adjective to fit the picture.
Well, I still don't...
Look, I'll explain it.
Oh, all right.
Supposing the studio finishes a picture called Chaos Over Potsdam.
Yeah?
The producer gives me the details. I see it ain't colossal. I see there ain't no adjective to describe Chaos Over Potsdam.
What do you do?
I use a word like significant. This picture is significant. You can take it either way.
Oh, I see. But about Gone with the Wind.
Well, Mr. Selznick, give me the details.
They were stupendous.
It's the biggest thing to come out of Hollywood. So I start going through my adjectives.
And?
I ain't got an adjective in my repertoire big enough to fit it.
What about colossal?
Colossal, titanic, mammoth, Brobdingnagian, cyclopean. For the first time in my life, they won't do.
So?
So I started compounding adjectives like Titan gigantuan.
Yeah.
Super calastic.
Yeah.
Glamonificent.
Those are pretty big words.
Not big enough for this picture. I seen it was futile. I dismantled the adjectives I was working on.
And gave up?
I had to. The picture's too big for words.
And Gone with the Wind has been released without an adjective?
I'm just calling it a long picture, mister.
A masterpiece of understatement. And thank you, Mr. Humphrey Dill. An actress who almost played the part of Scarlett in Gone with the Wind is Miss Stephanie Culpepper. How did you miss out on the Scarlett part, Miss Culpepper?
I was too thorough, Sugar.
Too thorough?
I sure enough was. I got too deep into the character. That was my undoing.
What happened?
Well, back in 1935, the studio called me for a test. I thought they would just audition and draw.
Oh, I see.
I met the director, Mr. Somebody. He says, honey, your drawl is bragging. If you can act like you can draw, he said, the part is yours.
And you did a scene from the picture?
With the camera right there.
Oh, and what was the trouble?
I was too thorough.
Well, how do you mean, Miss Culpepper?
Well, the director said, play Scarlett as a green kid.
Yes.
Your future looks black, and you're feeling blue.
Yes.
Lose your courage and turn yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Then steal yourself and show you're in the pink.
A complicated bit of acting, I must say.
Yes, Scarlett was green, black, blue, yellow, and pink. That's the way I played her, but I was too thorough.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, the test was in Technicolor. I come out plaid.
Oh. Condolences, and thank you, Miss Stephanie Culpepper. The only boner found in the entire picture was traced to one Mr. Belclair Scriven. How did this boner possibly creep in, Mr. Scriven?
It was my fault. It was a fatal literary lapse.
Oh, a literary... Oh, did you write the picture scenario?
Me? Why, one man couldn't write Gone with the Wind. It was a creative project.
Really? Well, how was the picture written?
60 workers, writers, working day and night in 12-hour shifts.
You don't say.
Yes, I do. The script passed along on an assembly line.
Yeah.
Typewriters put in verbs and conjunctions.
Yeah.
Literary big shots folded on sentences. The chap who did whole paragraphs was pure cement.
And your task was?
I was a suffix clincher.
Oh, you just added the suffixes.
Yes, for instance, if the word child passed me on the assembly belt, I would add hood. Childhood.
Yes.
Sweet, I'd add nest.
Sweetness.
Nuff, I'd add ing.
The word nuff.
Don't mean a thing if it ain't got that ing.
But about this single boner in Gone with the Wind.
It is a missing suffix. It was my fatal lapse.
How did it happen?
I had been working 27 days and nights without sleeping. I was suffix happy.
I can imagine.
We were coming into that scene where Scarlett meets Rhett for the first time. I was sitting at the assembly belt. I started nodding.
Yes.
Butt came by, I added the lair. Butler.
Yes.
Scar came by, I added the left. Scarlet.
Yes.
Then she spoke, and I must have dozed off.
You missed the suffix?
I did, yes. Scarlett said hello. I didn't add the O.
And And when Scarlett greets Rhett in the picture today...
It's a bugle call.
I see. And what picture are you working on now, Mr. Scriven?
I am not with MGM at the moment.
Well, where will a letter reach you?
Care of the menswear in Macy's basement.
And still you're no bargain, Mr. Belclair Scriven. And now the Arcana News brings you a digest version of the masterpiece Gone with the Wind, running to 1,037 pages in book form, lasting 3 hours and 45 minutes on the screen. Gone with the Wind is here through the miracle of radio, given to you in 3 seconds, presenting our condensation of Gone with the Wind. The Gun with the Wind. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we present our guest star...
Mr. Allen!
Yeah. Oh, yes, Portland.
Mama sent this back.
Sent what? Oh, what's this little bar?
It's that perfume you gave Mama for Christmas.
Oh, doesn't your mother like perfume?
Yes, but Mama said this kind was for throwing, not using.
What does your mother mean, throwing?
Mama said this perfume is generally put up in little glass bottles instead of in bottles.
Did your mother try it?
Yes. Mama put some on her dress.
And?
3 moths came out of her skirt and gave themselves up.
What do you know?
Then Mama got too near the candles on the Christmas tree.
And?
Her left sleeve exploded.
Nothing else happened, I hope.
Well, not till Mama rubbed some of the perfume behind her ears.
And then what happened?
Mama's right ear came off in her hand.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's what Mama said when her other ear came off.
Your mother said what?
It's ridiculous.
Why, now, wait a minute. This whole thing is getting ridiculous. Who is our guest star tonight?
Well, all of the other programs are having guest experts sum up the old year and predict for 1940.
Oh, and don't tell me that you have dug up a whimsy expert for us.
Yes, he's America's foremost authority on wit and humor.
To wit?
Mr. Robert Benchley.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, Mr. Benchley.
Yes, as evenings go, I'd say it is a good evening, friend. That is up to now. The thing that worries me is what happens from now on.
Why, we could have had the censor up to clear your throat, you know, and everything else was...
I could have sworn that, wasn't it?
We had everything else cleared but your throat for the program. Well, you all ready?
Oh, I guess as ready as I will be.
I know, when the frogs away, Well, the purpose of this meeting is to dissect humor and the professional humorist. Now, tonight, Mr. Benchley, you are the guinea pig.
Well, it's a character part for me, Fred, but I'll do the best I can. A guinea pig. Gosh, I wish you'd told me how to come in tails.
That joke isn't a sample of your humor, Mr. Benchley.
No, Fred, I was just feeling out the audience. That joke was sort of a throwaway, you know?
Well, it's too bad you didn't throw it away before you got in here.
Yeah, I'll know better next time, if there is a next time. Well, as Robespierre said on the steps of the guillotine, tout comprendre et tout pardonner.
What does that mean, Mr. Benchley?
What?
I said, what does that say to, whatever that was, what does it mean?
Well, it loses so much in the translation, Fred. Why bother?
Fine. Well, we'll get right into our interview.
All right, I'm still the guinea pig.
If you don't mind.
No, not at all. I just wanted to make sure. If I'm supposed to be a guinea pig and play it as a mongoose, it's going to sound rather confusing.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's all I've got to say.
Oh, you must have more to say than that, Mr. Benchley.
Well, just as a matter of fact, I have. What I meant was that's all I've got to say on this page. I'm turning now.
Oh. Considerate of you, Mr. Benchley, I'm sure.
Oh, that's all right. May I trouble you to wet my finger, please?
Well, not at all. Pardon my tongue.
Pardon my finger. There we are. I've turned.
Fine. Now, tell me, is it true that you are America's foremost authority on wit and humor?
Well, I don't like to come right out and say it, Fred, but I'm not the one to make it unanimous either. But millions of people are saying it. And where there's so much smoke, there must be some fire.
Yes, I'll say. Now, how did you get this reputation?
Oh, I forget. I happened to be standing at a bar one night.
Standing?
Yes, it was early in the evening. Someone said, that Benchley is the world's foremost authority on wit and humor. I forget who said it. It may have been me. I don't know.
It started as a rumor, then.
Yes, I picked it up and sort of blabbed the word around. The thing caught on, and overnight, you might say, I was made.
Well, did you come from a funny family?
Yes, I did. We used to get a lot of laughs around the house just looking at each other. My father was a belly laugh.
Even as you today are no titter. As John Hancock used to put it on occasion, c'est la physiognomie.
What does that mean, friend?
Well, it loses so much. But tell me, Mr. Benchley, when did you first start to get funny?
My first bright remark, historians tell me, was made at a baby show in Worcester, Massachusetts in 1894.
You recall it?
Verbatim.
Good.
I won first prize at the baby show. The judge stooped over my cradle with the medal. I said, you can't pin anything on me. My mother beat you to it.
Rollicking, I must say.
Thank you.
That started you on your career as combination wit and Merry Andrew?
Yes, Fred. The rest is history. I rested on my laurels for 20 years.
And what happened?
My spine blossomed. In 1930, I won first prize at the flower show, standing on my hand.
Good for you. Now, since you are an authority, Mr. Benchley, I think our listeners might enjoy having you clear up a few minor things, including your throat. You want to take time out?
No, it's okay.
We'd like to have you clear up a few minor things about you don't think part of your mustache got down there. But I think our listeners might enjoy having you clear up a few minor things about wit and humor that tend to confuse the average person.
Oh, I'll be glad to, Fred. What's on your mind?
Well, first, what is a joke?
A joke? Well, when you hear a man say, did you hear the one about? Then he goes,
Yes?
Well, what comes between did you hear the one about and that's the joke.
Well, that explains everything. Have you any statistics on wit and humor covering 1939?
Well, I did have, but Dr. Gallup borrowed my pole this morning. He was behind in his shinnying or something. But I have a few loose ends in my head.
Oh, I thought those were your sideburns.
No, they're just old loose ends. They've got hair on them.
They ought to come in mighty handy for tugging. Well, what joke, according to your loose ends, was told the most last year?
The Joe Miller survey rates as the outstanding joke of 1939. That one where one Albanian says to the other Albanian, what's the best way to keep a dead fish from smelling?
Does the second Albanian answer?
Unfortunately, yes. The second Albanian says the best way to keep a dead fish from smelling is to cut off its nose.
Where does where does the joke come in?
Well, no one seems to know. I've had a dead fish in my lab all year working on that joke. I cut off the nose.
And does the fish smell?
I doubt it. Everyone else is complaining, but the fish apparently gives no evidence of resenting itself.
Then the outstanding joke of 1939 is founded on a fallacy.
Exactly. Cutting off the fish's nose would have no effect on its olfactory reception whatsoever.
But the essence of a joke is still involved.
Yes, the joke is that a fish smells through its gills.
Well concealed, I must say.
Yes, the nose obviously is cut off as a come-on. But that's the trend. That joke is number one on the wit parade.
Now, what is your favorite joke of all time, Mr. Benchley?
Oh, I've said so many funny things, Fred.
I know, but your favorite.
Well, I guess it's that one about the little Indian boy who got his foot caught in his papoose bag and couldn't get it out.
What happened?
The boy had to go through life living on his mother.
Very
you. Thank you.
Excuse me if I don't laugh, Mr. Benchley. We're pressed for time.
I understand quite.
Well, what would you say is the outlook for wit and humor in 1940?
The outlook is pretty drab, Fred. I'm giving up the game. In fact, I'm going into another business. Christmas present consultant.
What is a Christmas present consultant?
Well, if you receive a Christmas present that presents a problem, for a nominal sum, I'll solve it for you.
Well, how do you mean?
Well, I got a call this morning up on Central Park West. A man received 20 pounds of puppy for Christmas.
Really?
He didn't know what to do with it.
He called you in?
At 3 o'clock this morning.
An emergency. What did you do?
Well, I broke every window in this client's apartment. That 20 pounds of putty was gone in no time.
Pretty soft for you.
Yeah, I sure made an impression there.
Good.
I had another call. A man received a grand piano for Christmas. His apartment was too small. With the piano in it, the man was sleeping in the hall.
What was your solution?
I burned the legs of the piano in the fireplace, stood the piano up on end.
Yes?
Today, that man has a harp and a place to sleep. Well, it's all in the day's work, Fred.
Yes, I guess it is. Have you been successful with all of your clients?
I'm infallible, Fred. Only yesterday I was called in by a family on the drive.
What was wrong there?
They were playing bridge on a new table, a Christmas present.
Uh-huh.
They had open house, and a bum walked in and got in the bridge game. They sent for me.
Were you able to get the bum out of the bridge game?
Oh, in no time. I arrived at the house. They dealt me in.
Yes?
I did one note tramp.
Yes?
The bum blushed and withdrew.
Amazing, Mr. Benchley. But this is a seasonal profession. I suppose when Christmas is over, you'll return to your public.
Yes, Fred. As a matter of fact, I'm leaving for Hollywood next week.
Oh, are you going to make another picture?
Oh, I've got to. The studio just discovered it has 2 dishes left over. Well, bonsoir, Fred.
Bonsoir? What does that mean?
It leaves so much in the translation.
Why, Father? Well, I get it. And thank you. I get it, but vaguely. And thank you, Mr. Robert Benchley. You're now, ladies and gentlemen, the farewell appearance of the mighty Allen Art Players for 1939. Tonight, they dramatize an episode filched from the secret clinical files of a famous psychoanalyst. The sketch is called White and Neurosis. Or, the patient was the well-dressed man. His straitjacket had a belt in the back. Now the action takes place.
Professor Allen, Psychoanalysis Clinic.
The time?
The present.
The characters?
Professor Allen, Professor Allen's nurse, several patients, and Napoleon.
Napoleon? Who's Napoleon?
I'm Napoleon.
Professor Allen's mental clinic, happy in addition. Hello? No, Professor Allen just went out. He said he had to see a man about a dogma. Yes, I'll tell him. Goodbye.
Ah, Freudian good morning, nurse. And how are all my subnormal patients this morning?
They're still subnormal. They're asking for you.
Only a suppressed schizophrenic would attempt to belittle the world's greatest authority on psychoanalysis, nurse. Why, my cures have set the Ouija board back 20 years.
What cures?
What cures? What about Mrs. M of Dallas, Texas? Mrs. M came to me with a Nulong fixation. She thought she was a tea bag. Well, I kept her in hot water for 3 months. She left here cured.
She paid you for keeping her in hot water?
I soaked her for $200, yes. Take my other cure, the Brothers J of Biddeford, Maine.
What was the matter with them?
The Brothers J thought they were bookends. They were going through life 6 inches apart. I walked between them saying, I am the Encyclopedia Britannica. The bookend fixation was shattered. The brothers left my clinic through different windows, cured.
That shuts me up.
Another cure. I am uncanny.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Yes, 702.
I feel the urge.
Very well, 702. Here's your piece of bread.
Thank you. Who is that?
702 thinks she's a hamburger. Has to have a piece of bread before she'll sit down. I keep slicing the bread thinner and thinner. She'll be on her own in no time. Take a note for the medical journal.
Yes, sir.
Case 648. A specimen of exalted ego inflation. 648 was under the delusion that he was the president. By degrees, I reduced him to thinking he was vice president, then Secretary of the Interior, then Saul Bloom.
His ego was subsiding.
His ego was subsiding rapidly. Yesterday, I had him down to thinking he was a Republican. He was practically cured.
What happened?
I must have gone too far with my treatment. This morning, he woke up thinking he was Jack Benny. Well, I took him to the isolation ward, a hopeless moron. Oh, this must be a new patient. Put on your shoes, nurse, and open the door.
Yes, sir.
Professor Allen.
Be seated, please.
No, hold on. Just a minute. I've got something...
Oh, yes. You are a victim of repressed hysteria.
Let go of my tongue. I'm not a patient.
No?
No, you maniac. I'm Rodney Tate, manager of the Cosmopolitan Opera Company.
But I'm not...
Our opera season opens tonight, and I'm terribly worried about our star tenor.
Lawrence Flibbit?
Yes. He's a victim. A victim of recurring hallucination.
What form has Flibbit's phobia assumed?
He thinks he's a chicken.
A chicken?
Yes, a chicken.
His condition has been brought on by some foul experience. Am I right?
Yes. Mr. Flibbit made a concert appearance last week.
Yes?
Variety, a theatrical weekly, ran a headline
saying...
Flibbit lays an egg.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Flibbit is an artist. He began to brood about this thing.
That egg-laying phrase has perforated his subconscious.
Exactly. Today at rehearsal, Mr. Flibbit started flapping his arms and crowing in a finale.
He didn't follow through?
No. No. Mr. Flibbit did not lay an egg, no.
Good. Where is the patient now?
He's right outside. I'll call him in here. Florence, come in.
I'm a chicken.
Dad, definite symptoms of poultry mania, a form of dementia peacock. Look at me, Mr. Flibbit.
I'm a chicken.
No. Mr. Flibbit. You have no feathers, you see? That proves you're not a chicken, doesn't it?
No, it proves I'm molting.
This is ridiculous. Now, Ellen, Flibbit has got to sing tonight. He's starring in Rigoletto.
Now, don't worry, Mr. Tate.
Well, I can't.
I'll clear up, peace of mind, Tate, old man. We have enough trouble with Flibbit here. I'll clear up Flibbit's condition in time for his performance.
Can you guarantee a cure, Professor?
Absolutely.
Good.
I shall start treatment immediately.
I'm a chicken.
Quiet, Mr. Flibbit. No bragging. Now, Mr. Tate.
Yes, Professor.
You take Flibbit inside to my clinic and squat him on an electric light bulb.
Yes.
When he sees he cannot hatch it, presto, the delusion will be shattered.
Oh, yes.
Flibbit will return to his normal senses.
Indeed, yes. Come along, Florence.
Get me a nest. I want to sit down.
An interesting specimen, eh, nurse?
If that guy's a chicken, make mine pot roast.
Your sang-froid is out of place in psychoanalysis circles, nurse. What is that letter on your desk there?
It's in case 527.
Oh, yes. 527 checked out 10 days ago, completely cured. Well, it's probably another testimonial. What does he say?
Dear Professor Allen, 2 weeks ago I came to you obsessed with the idea that I was Al Jolson.
Yes?
You cured me in 3 days and discharged me.
Go on.
Now that I'm back in Hollywood, an embarrassing situation has come up. It seems that I really am Al Jolson. As a result of your cure, no one can make me believe I'm myself. What shall I do? Signed, Al Jolson.
Yeah, the distortion of individuation. I treated Dr. Jekyll for the same trouble. Take a letter.
Yes, sir.
Dear Al, if you really are Jolson, get down on one knee. Say Mammy 50 times. It will all come back to you in blackface. Have you got that?
Yes, sir. I'm a chicken.
Are you in again? Where's that manager of yours?
I am right here, Professor. That confounded cure of yours didn't work at all.
Impossible.
Well, it didn't work.
You sat Flibbit on the light bulb as I prescribed?
Yes, I did, but the darn thing broke. He thought he'd laid a scrambled egg.
Yeah, the yolk was on me.
Quiet,
Now,
Flibbit.
Ellen, you have got to do something. I'm holding you responsible for this man.
I'll come through, Tate. My next move is auto-suggestion.
What is that?
Take Flibbit back to my clinic.
Yes.
Put some paper bloomers on him. He'll start thinking he's a lamb chop. We can proceed from there.
Oh, yes, good. Very well. Come on, Tony.
Put me in a kettle. I want to be put in
You're going to be a lamb chop. Now, get in there.
Dad, this Flibbit case is extending me neurotically. Professor Allen's Psychoanalysis Clinic, Inhibitions Especially. Hello?
I want to speak to Professor Allen, please.
You're speaking to Professor Allen, madam.
What became of the man who answered the telephone?
I am the man who answered the telephone.
Oh, put Professor Allen on, please.
I am Professor Allen.
Really? Who was that other man who answered the phone?
It was I. I am Professor Allen.
One at a time, gentlemen, please.
Hello?
Who is this, please?
Professor Allen talking.
You're on a busy wire, Professor.
I know it. You called me up, madam.
So I did. Professor, I've got to see you.
I should say so.
When can I have an appointment?
Let me see. Friday.
Oh, I can't come Friday. I'm mad at Friday.
You're mad at Friday?
Yes, I like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and all the others.
But you're...
Yes, I'm mad at Friday.
Who are you, madam?
I'm Mrs. Robinson Crusoe.
Mad at Friday? That woman is crazy, nurse. Hello?
That party reversed the charges.
Dad, she isn't as crazy as I thought. Any patients waiting, nurse?
No, sir. Doc, I'm still a chicken. Doc.
A chicken, of course.
That is awful, Alan. I've never seen anything like it.
Confound him. Isn't he cured yet?
No, Alan, Mr. Flippett is not cured.
Mr. Tate.
You guaranteed to get Mr. Flippett in shape to sing tonight. He's still a chicken. I'm suing you. I'll ruin your clinic.
Hold on. I'll have you here for observation if you don't watch it, Tate. I will cure Mr. Tibbet, or Mr. Flippett. I will cure him if he shows up, too. Come here. Come here. Come here.
I'm a chicken.
Of course you're a chicken. In fact, Mr. Flippett, you're such a fat little chicken, I'm going to eat you for dinner.
What?
Come here, Flippett.
Wait a minute. What are you doing with that paperweight there, Professor?
I'm going to kill a chicken.
No.
Flippett, take this.
Stop, wait a minute. Alan, what have you done? You'll get 20 years for this.
Quiet, Tate. I'll dash some water in the patient's face. We'll see how my shock treatment works. Here, Flippett.
Who's on? Where am I? Gordon, how do you feel? Well, I feel fine. Why aren't we at the opera, Tate? What am I doing here? No, it's all right, Collins. You were a chicken, but the professor just cured you. Alan, you're a genius.
Oh, it was nothing. Here is your bill, Mr. Flippett.
Oh, you'll get my check in the morning, Professor. I've got to rush over to the opera house. Yes, we must. Just one thing, Professor.
Yeah?
There's no danger of relapse, is there?
None whatsoever.
Oh, good.
Unless Mr. Flippett is exposed to another sudden shock. Keep him away from those bad notices.
Yes, fine. The opera house will never forget you, Professor. We'll name the men's foyer and the mezzanine after you, sir.
Ah, that is inferior immortality, and thank you.
Yes.
Good day, gentlemen.
Good day, Professor. Good day.
And remember, Mr. Flippett, avoid any sudden shock.
I will.
You are wonderful, Professor.
Thank you, nurse. My psychotherapy never fails.
Alan, you no good fizzling bamboozler.
Mr. Tate, what is this?
You told Mr. Flippett to keep away from sudden shocks.
But
He just looked at your bill. It's for $10,000.
It's itemized. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that, he asked. What's wrong with it? I'll show you what's wrong with it. Torrance, come in here.
I